The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, Week 12 Waiver Wire Pickup Power Rankings. All the injuries, recap of the running back snap shares, recap of the games, and then after we do all that, we'll be taking your viewer questions. Remember, smash the like button, and the great thing is you can watch us on the YouTube channel now. You can watch us on my Facebook page, facebook.com/thepme, and on Periscope, and Twitter. So we're going to try to figure out how to get all the chats into one place. Don't have that figured out right now, but eventually we'll get it down. And a big announcement. I know everyone is going to be celebrating Turkey Day coming up on Thursday, so you're going to be relaxing. You don't want to work, but hey, if there's one benefit ever to me being Canadian is I don't get your holiday off. So I'm going to be working. So I will be live 11 a.m. Eastern time on the exact same places, all the platforms you need. And it'll be up on demand after the fact as well in case you want to get in before the first game start. But 11 a.m. Eastern time, myself and the man joining me in studio right now, Chris Meaney.
What's up?
This is the big thing.
Yeah.
It's like I always wondered if it would be smart for a fantasy company to be stationed in like Azerbaijan. Because you would be so far ahead that like when you're working normal hours, like if you could produce content like overnight for everything,
Right
it
away.
would be like mid-afternoon for you, that you would just be ahead of the game so much.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if I have the time shift right that way or the other way. Whatever it is, like a 12-hour difference would be super legit.
Yeah, and you get the information out there right away. Man, the Turkey Day Thanksgiving slate is always super fun, so I'm glad to join you on that day. I'll be looking forward to take some questions, talk about the slate. It's always a good time. You get the 3 football games on the go.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is I'm going to have Davis on tomorrow, and we're going to go over the DraftKings picks, the spread picks, everything like that for each of the Thursday games. When we come on, we'll take the questions, we'll reassess the games, we'll break down the showdown slates. That's probably the best way to go about it. And take the start sits that everyone has.
And if Dallas wins, they control their own destiny. All of a sudden, they're at top of the NFC East. 2 weeks ago, you and I were talking about changes, quarterback, maybe not quarterback changes, but coaching changes for sure.
Now they're great.
Now they're great. They're unbelievable. Big win yesterday, and the division's up for grabs after Alex Smith broke his leg.
Yeah, that's rough. You don't think Colt McCoy is going to step in and be the man?
He hasn't started a football game in like 3 years, I don't think.
The one vivid like Colt McCoy memory I have is that Thursday night game against the Steelers when he played for the Browns and got concussed. And they put him back out on fourth down.
Just keep going out there.
Just like, you're fine.
Yeah.
Just you could see it in his eyes. He was like, he couldn't stare.
Should
just
not
threw a pick.
have played at all in that game. So, I mean, Washington's offense has not been good this year with Alex Smith. So, I mean, slight downgrade, I guess. I mean, how worse can it get?
It was good for Jordan Reed.
It was good for Jordan Reed, and maybe it will be going forward.
We'll see. Yeah. I just don't know how great Cole. It's funny, like everyone else who put in their backup quarterback, like so far this year, has been great.
Yeah.
Like every time that Fitzmagic comes in for Jameis, he's great. Every time Jameis comes in for Fitzmagic, he's great. You put in Baker Mayfield against the Jets, he's awesome.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter who it is. Colt McCoy.
Some late changes. Yeah, I know. Jameis almost came back and won that football game yesterday.
So I went all in on your buddy, Gingivitis, Carson Wentz yesterday.
Yeah, he had a bad game.
Bad
game. I was in on him too. I thought they'd have to, obviously they did have to throw the football to play catch up with that Saints team. They cannot be stopped at all. Like they were just toying with the Eagles yesterday. But
is it because the Saints are so good or because the Eagles are so bad? Because I saw this line come out because I was trying to get ahead. Because it's just because it's Thanksgiving in America doesn't mean I have to do all my work like a day in advance. For this week to get everything out.
Yeah, same.
So I do this write up for NBC Philly every week, and I do the video for them. And get to be on NBC. It's nice. It's one of the perks of being associated with DraftKings. They got in with all this stuff. So if people watching Philly see me on NBC Philly, but I do a breakdown of like the spreads and the props of all the games this week. So I started doing an early write up on Giants at Eagles. What do you think the spread in that game is? Giants at Eagles.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants are favored by 3.
The Giants at the Eagles would be favored?
Yeah.
No, come on.
Man, the Eagles, have you not seen their defense?
Okay, well...
And guys are falling like flies.
All right. That's crazy talk.
It's not crazy talk,
The Eagles are favored by 4.5 points.
They shouldn't be.
They should be. They should be favored by 10 points against the Giants.
No, they shouldn't be,
This
This
has the makings of 2 maybe incomplete narratives coming at each other from both sides. So the Eagles coming out of the bye against Dallas look horrendous.
Yeah.
And they lose. They lose 27-20.
Yeah.
So it's a game they could win. It's against Dallas. Dallas has proven to be all right.
Sure.
Pretty good. So they lose that game. And they get waxed by the Saints, who are the favorites to win the Super Bowl now.
Sure.
So the Saints are just awesome.
They're just amazing.
Now the Giants, on the other hand, have played the past 2 weeks coming out of the bye with 2 wins.
Yeah.
They've beaten the Niners and the Bucks.
Yeah.
And I have this theory that, like, let's just say this game was competitive last night. Let's say the Eagles lost 30-25 or something. Like, they had a chance to win. They didn't win. They lost. Yeah. This spread would be -7.
Yeah, they'd be favored by a touchdown. But
And they should be favored. The Giants are awful. Do you know why people think they're good? And this works into my spread theory, is that so many people play fantasy now.
Barkley and Beckham.
And their fantasy guys do stuff.
Yeah.
And they just beat up on the Niners D and the Bucks D. The Bucks D is the worst D in the league. Now, Eagles D, granted, not very good.
Not good at all,
Not
man.
good.
And not getting any better. They're signing players off their practice squad who are getting hurt.
Which means they're about at the same secondary rate as the Giants.
I guess, for sure. I mean, the Giants have some players on defense. Like, I was watching yesterday, like Jason Kelsey went down or Jordan Hicks went down. We signed a guy off the practice squad, Maxwell. He went down. Sidney Jones is down. You know, there's just nobody right now at all on defense. And at least the Giants are showing us something on offense. We're talking about an Eagles team who scored 30 points every single week last year, basically, and they've done it, twice this year? Carson Wentz looked awful, 3 picks. I mean, I understand it's the New York Giants, and this is a game in Philadelphia, and, you know, they're still hanging on to a little bit of hope inside the division, but it's not great, man. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable picking the Eagles by 4 points. I really wouldn't.
I feel comfortable picking them by a lot of
Yeah.
points. This is exactly what happened in that Thursday night game, like in week 5 or whatever it was. People were really down on the Eagles, and I think the line opened at like 4, and then by the time it went to kickoff, it was like 1.5 because everyone bet the Giants, and then the Eagles won by like 50.
Smoked the Giants. Yeah, and that was, I think, the first game back from Jeffrey, and I mean, yeah, it's either way. Both of these teams are trending in the opposite direction, despite having 2 straight wins for the Giants.
I don't know if Philly's done. I don't.
The thing is, you look at the division, and
Here are the division odds right now. -138 for the Cowboys to win. The Cowboys are favorites to win the division now. The Eagles +280.
Yeah.
And then the Redskins are +320, so they're 3.5 or 3-1.
See, they're 2 back. So Philly's 2 back. They have to play Washington twice.
and
Obviously, they play
They
Dallas.
play Washington twice, Dallas, and the Giants again.
Yeah, they also play a game in LA against the Rams, and then they welcome in the Texans. So, I mean, if Jason Kelsey's done, if we hear today that he's actually done for the year, that's not great. Like, for this offensive line that he can't get a run game going, and Carson Wentz doesn't have any time in the pocket to throw the football, and he hasn't looked good lately. So I think, you know, mathematically they're not done because they're still alive because you have to play Washington twice. But still, like,
everything kind of
they're dropping guys.
Yeah,
like,
but
guys are just falling.
True, but everything
So many.
broke so right for everyone in the NFC yesterday. Everyone who was like, I thought Green Bay was done after losing to Seattle, but they're not.
No, they're not.
Like, Carolina lost,
Yeah.
Washington lost, Atlanta lost.
There's a lot of 5-5 teams.
Everyone's just right there. Like, someone can catch fire here.
Yeah.
And maybe Dallas is the team that's catching fire.
Well, they're going to hold their own destiny because if they beat Washington this week, then all of a sudden they're leading that division, and then they have, you know, a game against they'll play the Giants again. They'll play they'll play the Eagles secondary, and then I think they got the Colts. So they'll have some winnable games. I mean, they may even have Tampa.
But that's a guaranteed spot for the NFC East. One of these teams has to win the division, so they're in. So, like, wild card wise, right now, like, we're looking at the Bears are winning the North.
Yeah.
The Rams have basically clinched.
Yeah, the Saints.
The Saints have basically clinched. So then you're dealing with a bunch of 6-4, 5-5, 4-6 teams.
Yeah.
Like, Green Bay is 4-5-1.
Yeah, and Seattle's 5-5.
And Minnesota's 5-4-1. Like, Minnesota's not dead in the wild card by any. They were not great.
No,
but they're not dead.
No, they're not dead. And if you're a Packers fan and you're just, you know, Aaron Rodgers, that's what you wanted to see yesterday. You wanted to see Chicago just win, kind of run away with that division a little bit. You have a game this week against Minnesota. You know, you win that game, all of a sudden you're right in the middle of a wild card hunt. So, you know, nobody's dead. It's just the way that things are trending for the Eagles, and, you know, like, again, their secondary wasn't good to begin with, and now they've lost.
You'd have to feel like their
everybody.
offense gets back on track. You have to, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, Wentz isn't bad.
Wentz is not
He's
bad.
regressed.
He's
not MVP Wentz,
No,
but he's not like, he shouldn't look like he's fucking Sam Darnold out there.
Yeah, he looked brutal yesterday, you know, and the week before that, the one pick that stands out to me against Dallas, that was an awful throw. He can bounce back and he's got all the weapons to do so, but it's the defense, man. Like,
just too bad?
It's just too bad. It is pathetic, and it's been awful all year. And like I said, now Darby is gone. Jones is gone. Jalen Mills is gone.
They got me and you playing corner.
I mean,
not great.
It is. I mean, Schwartz doesn't have much to work with. The Saints are on another level, but everybody has been picking apart this secondary all year. I mean, Corey Davis had his best season against them. Marcus Mariota had his best game against the Tampa Bay, was rolled all over. And there's a lot of teams who have just had their way with the Eagles, and I just don't see. I just can't see it getting any better.
AFC's taking shape.
Yeah.
You basically have your 5 teams locked, or not your 5 teams locked in, because the Texans have now won 7 in a row.
Yeah,
7 in a row.
Yeah,
so I guess they're gonna make
losing
the
the first 3 straight.
But I mean, the
first
Texans, you could turn the switch on the Texans; they could be terrible. Like, they should have lost yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, they also should have covered yesterday. Then like 20 seconds later, they should have lost.
Just an offensive struggle, both sides. Like there was turnover after turnover with both of those teams yesterday.
Watson threw a really terrible floater.
Yeah,
in that game.
he didn't look.
What's he doing?
He didn't look good yesterday. I mean, maybe we have to give some credit to Washington's defense. Has been really good this season.
I saw that. I think they were pressured on like 60% of passing attempts. That's not good.
That is not good. And for Washington,
Good for Dallas's D if you can go pick him up this week.
Right? Because that offensive line is in shambles. It's awful.
Trent
now
Williams
you're going to
might
Colt
be
McCoy.
back.
Yeah.
Might be back. I'm not sure.
So and there's just no weapons, right? I mean, you're stacking the box against AP.
How dare you disrespect Trey
Sure.
Quinn?
Right.
He now plays the slot.
In the
Killed
slot.
poor Maurice Harris, pushed him to the outside. Now he can't do anything.
And Harris had 2 straight games where he led that team in catches and yards.
Yeah, because he was in the slot.
Because he was in the slot.
Trey
That's
Quinn
the role.
comes back and
now Harris is, and Crowder, I mean, wouldn't be shocked if he just gets shut down at some point for the rest of the season. He hasn't played in a long time.
I doubt they play him on the short week. That would
Yeah.
seem like if he was able to play this Thursday, it would seem like he'd be able to play.
And
this
he's not even
Sunday.
practicing. Like him and Chris Thompson are not even getting on the practice field. Like they're not even close to just hanging out.
Talking about practice?
Yeah.
Jamison Crowder talking about practice? Come on. Guy doesn't need. Antonio Gates didn't need practice to have a good game.
What is he? Tight end 1 this week? Tight
think
end
he was
2?
tight
Him
end
and
3.
Jordan Reed. Him and Jordan Reed.
Yeah.
I mean, my best DK lineup, of course, had Zach Ertz in it. I paid up for him. It was disappointing across the board from the Eagles. Like, again, it was just, they couldn't do anything. They couldn't hit anybody. And Golden Tate, all the work that he got was in that final drive.
His hands didn't look great.
No.
And that's his thing, is catching everything, being a vacuum. So in the AFC, so the Pats are in,
Yeah.
calling them in. The Steelers basically got themselves in yesterday because they should have lost, but they didn't. The Texans will give them in. We'll give the Chargers in. We'll give the Chiefs in. Those teams are probably in. Now, they're not locked. I mean, the Chargers aren't locked. They're the Chargers.
Of course.
But they're 7-3. They should be good for that 5th wild card spot.
Yeah.
So that leaves the Dolphins, the Bengals, the Bengals, Browns, and
Ravens I guess, are now 5-5.
Are 5-5. The Colts are 5-5. Tennessee's 5-5. The Jags could have got themselves back into it. They didn't. The Broncos are now 4-6.
Yeah.
So they still have like an outside shot if they can knock off. They have another game against Oakland. They can win that one.
Yeah.
So who do you like? I like the Ravens or the Colts.
I really, the Ravens and the Colts. And you look ahead at the Colts, they're going to have Tennessee again. Andrew Luck has never lost them in his career. He's going to have to go into Houston. That's the key game. They'll have to go into Houston and actually win that football game. I mentioned that they have Dallas. So, I mean, the Colts have been very impressive. The offensive line is one of the best in football. Like they
don't
really,
give up sacks.
no, they don't give up sacks. They've made some. Obviously, we've joked about that for years. Like improve your offensive line, stop drafting guys like Philip Dorsett, and protect Andrew Luck. And we're seeing that right now.
And like even just getting someone like Ebron on a good contract.
And Frank Reich is. I mean, he's a great play caller,
Is
man.
he one of the reasons that the Eagles aren't as good?
Maybe because you start looking at the offense being so good last year, offensive coordinator, of course, and we're seeing.
Yeah, did we give Doug Peterson too much credit?
Maybe we did. Maybe we did give Doug Peterson a little bit too much credit because the play calling has not been there. He's going in for it on 4th down because it almost feels like he has to now because he's got this whole persona that he goes for it all the time on 4th down. He went for it last week on 4th down against the Cowboys instead of kicking a field goal to tie the game when your offense wasn't working.
Well, in fairness to yesterday, they should have never punted once because on drives that they punted to the Saints on, the Saints averaged 6 points.
Exactly.
Per drive.
So there's one play in the 3rd quarter where they punted when they're at midfield, and then later on, I think at the end of the 3rd quarter, they went for it. It was just like, well, what you guys, you should have went for it at that point. But there was Frank Reich. Did you see the Philly special when Ebron overthrew it? It was the exact same play call. And Ebron overthrew Luck in the end zone.
Luck showing off some athleticism with that dive.
Yeah.
Not a great throw from Ebron.
Not a great throw from Ebron, but the Colts are exciting right now. They got offense, T.Y.'s back, and all the tight ends like Reich utilizes all of those tight ends.
You sprinkle in some Dontrell Inman, you're good to go.
And Inman, this is a team that the division would be up for grabs if they didn't go for it in that game that we watched together in overtime. Now, in hindsight, sure. But
I think they were 0-3 at the time,
and they wanted to get that win. I get it.
If that cost them, that's a bad turning point. But it feels like, even though they lost that game, it feels like going for it in that spot, and you can read whatever narrative you want into it.
Yeah.
Kind of like got them all fired up, being like, hey, we're here to win. We're here to win games. We're not here to tie games. We're here to go for it because we think our offense is awesome.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, their offense is really good.
Their offense
They
is-
should have got the 2 yards.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like the thing with Carolina yesterday. It sucks they don't get it, and it makes them look like idiots. But
That's a throw Cam should have made.
he was
anyways.
wide open. They had the right play.
They had the play.
Cam just blew it.
And that's probably, you're looking at, Rivera, if you ask him, he'll probably say, 9 times out of 10, we had the play that we wanted, and, we weren't feeling great about our defense. We're in a situation here to,
Put it this way.
win this game right now.
Would you rather go out like that and lose a game where Cam misses an open guy, you had the play drawn up, it should have worked, or go out like fucking Mike McCarthy, who's punting on Thursday night like a moron?
I know. And
would you rather be that
Yeah.
guy? At least with Rivera, it's like, it was, in retrospect, it's stupid. You lost the game. But at least you tried to win.
Yeah.
Like the Packers played like not to win the game.
It's funny. I like that move. I like the Frank Reich move. I like the Vrabel move in London at the very end when they went for it.
You need
an opportunity.
You need some consistency to this, but the one thing that we never know when it comes to these 2-point conversions is maybe Rivera saw something.
Yeah.
Maybe he talked to Norvell Turner
Yeah.
and was like we got to play for this. We know how to get a guy open. He's going to be wide open. Cam just needs to make the throw. Now, I thought it was a poor design that you're not rolling Cam out
Right.
and not even making him a threat to run on a 2-point conversion. That seems strange.
That's kind of where I was going to go. Is
But the play should have worked.
Yeah, I like these ideas, but it's the same thing with the Titans. Like, it was an empty backfield at that point. Like, at least if you're on the 1 or on the 2, I know we joke about Derrick Henry, but I mean, he's not a bad guy to get that 1 yard for you. At least just have him on the field and just try to fool, defenses a little bit. Yeah, run your play action or whatnot. But I thought Detroit should have, just on the road, kick the extra point, go to overtime here and move on. But at the same time, they had the play. You're right. So back to the Colts. I mean, I'm looking at the Ravens. They have a tough schedule.
How sustainable is Lamar Jackson running the ball 27 times?
That's what I mean. Like, they ran the ball, 50 some odd times yesterday? Threw the ball 19 times.
And it was against the Bengals, who have like the shittiest defense in the league.
And barely won that football game.
Now, they do get Oakland this week, so they can do that again, and it will work.
They get Oakland, and then later on, you get into fantasy football playoff time for them, which will be the key to get wins. They got to go into Kansas City, a winnable game, of course, against Tampa, but then they got to go play the Chargers on the road, too. So those are 2 tough matchups. Games that they're going to have to win for them to get into the playoffs. So it's wide open. It is absolutely wide open. Every time you think the Titans are rolling, they lay an egg. Like, they go and just have their... That's the difference between the Titans and the Colts.
I went back and looked at my record because I've made the Titans a super lock a few times.
Yeah.
I picked them to beat the Patriots last week.
Yeah.
Picked them to cover against the Chargers, against Dallas, and I was big on Indy yesterday. I believe it's 9-1 against the spread in Titans games.
I'm the complete opposite.
They're a team I have. They're the one team I'm so bad with spread picks this year. They're the one team I have figured out.
I just can't figure them out. They're a team that over the past 3 years, I think they've won 3 straight games against Jacksonville. They handle the Jaguars.
Yeah, they always beat the Jags.
Colts. They have they had no issues with New England. None at all. They dominated that football game. But then they go into Indy and you just don't feel great about them winning any football game. And then they beat Dallas when everyone was down, and the Cowboys were 7-point favorites in that game. They handled them. They beat the Eagles when they were underdogs. But, they're just a weird team. I just can't figure out. That's the difference between them and the Colts. Like, I would never pick the Colts to beat the Pats. Never. I'd never feel great about it.
I don't know about that.
They got dominated against them earlier in the year. It wasn't even a contest. But yet the Titans can dominate them, but when they play the Colts, they can't even stay in the football. Even if Mariota played that entire game, there's no.
They're already down by 25 by the time he got hurt. But like, if you just look at the Titans across the board, they're just solid everywhere. But they're not especially good anywhere. But they're not bad anywhere.
Yeah.
So when you play a team like the Patriots, who have massive deficiencies, an average defensive line can really take advantage of a really bad offensive line. Or if you have a weak secondary or a slow secondary, just send all your fast players out. Yeah. You can do that. So quarterbacks like Mariota give New England a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And speed guys like Deion Lewis give them a lot of problems. So, and now this offense, ever since Marlon Mack has come back, they've just been dropping points on everyone.
Yeah, the line is phenomenal, and
They did lose their center yesterday. I don't know how long he's going to be out. Ryan Kelly.
I mean, look at I just have some playoff matchups here. So week 14, 15, 16, again at Houston, home to Dallas, home to the Giants. I know some of their games.
Dallas is tricky, but
They could beat the Giants. They could win all 3 of those games. Yesterday, I thought was a really good, just all around great effort for them, because I'm looking at the schedule. Like, yeah, you beat Washington. Okay, fine, big deal. You beat Buffalo. You beat the Jets. Okay, show me something more. But
they lost to the Jets.
They lost to the Jets?
Yeah, they got tuned by
they
the
beat
Jets.
Oakland.
Yeah, they beat Oakland.
They beat Oakland. Okay, so and then they get tuned by the Jets. That's what I mean. But it's up for grabs. You just named like 5 or 6 teams that are right there in the thick of things.
I think I still like the Ravens just because of their defense. And if they can figure out this Lamar Jackson thing.
I mean, it's amazing. Denver plays San Fran, Cleveland, Oakland. They have winnable games down the stretch too. Not that I'm crazy about their team, but they're not out of it either. Like
Yeah. That was not surprising whatsoever.
Slightly.
We talked about this on the spread show last
Chargers,
week.
man.
I was
It's
just
hard
like,
to win 7 straight games in the league.
I was like, Jeff, the Chargers haven't chargered yet this year. It's gonna happen at some point.
That was their first home game too since week 5.
Yeah.
Kicker misses an extra point.
Of course he
it.
does.
You could just see it all unraveling for them. It's tough to win 7 straight games in the league. Maybe that has something to do with it. But hey, Houston pulled it off.
Let me get to the giveaways before we get into the waiver wire pickup. So remember, everyone out there, please smash the like button. And the winners of the giveaways for this week, the Week 11 winners were Tampa Cali, KBB19622, Clunk. Feel like that might not be his name, Clunk. I hope it is, because that's like the greatest DK handle in history, Clunk. Tim Time 33, Big South, Captain Caffeine, I like that, and Free Drop Billy, all winners of 20 DK dollars. You will get your money in 1 to 97 days. Hopefully it takes like a day, but they've been rolling pretty well here the past few weeks. But every once in a while it gets the internet tubes get clogged and we can't do anything. And I did want to shout out the golf winner because I didn't do a golf show last week because I lost my voice. And there's no more golf until the new season. So code Orange23 if you're watching, you were the winner from the 2 weeks ago Mayakoba show for the 20 DK dollars. The giveaway this week is step 1: smash that like button, which you should be doing anyway. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section, not in the live chat section, in the comment section, and tell me which team you think will get the AFC 6 seed for the wild card. I'm very curious to know this.
Yeah, it's a good
I'll say
question.
Ravens, you say Colts.
No, I'm not saying the Colts. I'm gonna say the Titans.
The Titans?
Yeah.
The Titans will just grease it in?
Yeah, obviously Mariota has to be healthy. So if I hear some news that Mariota is not going to start this week or miss a couple weeks, I'll probably lean Ravens with you. They just looked. You bring in a young, fresh quarterback.
They didn't look great.
They didn't look great, but some of their players looked, up to the task. Let's say like Flacco, let's bring in some young blood here, a nice new quarterback.
Like
the
Lamar-
one problem is do you downgrade any of their weapons?
All of them.
Yeah,
100%. They're basically
Crabtree one catch.
they're unstartable.
Brown one catch.
Until I see something different.
Yeah.
They're
And some
unstartable.
good matchups coming up, too.
Yeah, we'll get into that right now. Let's talk running backs. Injuries at running back. Doug Martin exited Week 11 with an ankle injury. He is questionable for this week. Kerryon Johnson exited with a knee injury. He's getting an MRI today. I'm going to say he's doubtful for Week 12 because they play on Thursday.
Yeah, it's probably a pretty good bet.
Kenyon Drake was on bye. He had a shoulder injury before that. No word on him yet. Ronald Jones missed his 3rd straight game. The hamstring injury, he's questionable for Week 12. Chris Thompson, who knows if he's ever going to play again?
Yeah.
The man with the unhealing ribs.
If
And Darren Sproles continues to miss time with a hamstring injury. Do you think we'll see him again?
No, I don't think so. They said that they probably will, but suffered another setback and just, another year older from him. And the way he went out last year, I think he blew out his knee and broke his wrist in the same
And
play.
Achilles, wasn't it?
It was the same play. I know that. 2 significant injuries from one same play. So, yeah, not good. But Adams has kind of taken control of that backfield.
For this week.
It's 3 straight weeks now. He's led the team in carries and yards.
Yeah, but he's always going to lead the team in carries because they don't run it.
Well,
with
he
the
will
other
now, but that was the problem. Like, do we even care about him? Because
he still had 10 touches.
Yeah, in a game where they needed to throw consistently, nonstop.
Yeah, so the snap breakdown, we'll get into it. The power rankings
Yeah.
for running backs this week. Number 1, put Gus Edwards at number 1.
Why not? He's going to touch the ball 17 times.
Well, we'll see about that. So Gus Edwards, Elijah McGuire, Josh Adams, Jalen Richard, Theo Riddick, DeAndre Washington, who came in to spell. He's the guy who's going to carry the ball for Oakland if Doug Martin is out. Austin Eckler, who's dropped below the threshold. LeGarrette Blount, Derrick Henry, and then all the handcuffs like Ware, Bernard, Malcolm Brown, Chase Edmonds, Judge Ito Smith.
Yeah.
All those losers. You probably don't need to go pick them up.
Yeah. Jalen Samuels, I guess.
Yeah, Samuels on the list.
Yeah. You're just looking at home run shots. You got to be in a really good situation.
If something.
Yeah.
But this is the.
If you have Connor, I would have Samuels.
This is the point of the year, or even if you don't. Like, if this is the point of the year where you're in the playoffs already, you've clinched a bye, just go pick up the handcuffs.
Yep.
Even if they're not your handcuffs, just go pick up the handcuffs. Because, A, you could, like, let's say Kareem Hunt gets hurt tonight, for example.
Oh, yeah.
You could use that quick Yahoo trick this week, too.
Yeah.
Picking up Spencer
That's what
Ware.
we love, yeah.
And he's a free ad, and he's a free drop.
Yeah, even if he's on bye next week, I don't care. Like, Spencer Ware is not available in any of my leagues.
As he shouldn't be.
Because I own him, and the offense is just so damn awesome that if anything happens to Hunt, you got
top 10
yourself,
guy.
Yeah, you got yourself.
So if you can backdoor your way into a top 10 guy by just making a pickup because you have
Yeah.
the bench space to do it,
Yeah.
because you're already rolling, it's just another asset for you, and it takes away the ability from your opponents in the playoffs to pick this guy up and use him against you.
Exactly.
That's the big thing.
That's actually the key, that you don't want to go up against Spencer Ware. Even if you're set at running back, you do not want to go up against
it's
Spencer Ware.
terrifying.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, do you want to go up against Kareem Hunt? No. Which means you wouldn't want to go up against Spencer Ware.
Exactly.
So Gus Edwards ends up controlling, was it 62% of the snaps. Broke 7 tackles on 17 carries. Alex Collins broke 0 on 7 carries. Shout out to Pat Thorman for that one, BFF. But Collins played 22% of the snaps. Ty Montgomery, 11%. Buck Allen was like 2 snaps.
Yeah, not even a factor anymore.
Yeah, 6% of the overall snaps. Now, they ran the ball 50-plus times.
Yeah.
And they're going to try to do that as long as Lamar Jackson is playing quarterback. But it felt like they rode the hot hand. Edwards was looking good, so they used him. Mm-hmm. If it just goes back to Collins next week, not going to be super stunned.
No, we shouldn't be.
But you have the potential for a running back here that's getting 20-plus touches a game. Like, I'm not dropping Collins, but I would pick up Edwards.
Yeah, I would
have no trust, though.
Yeah, I know it's really tough to trust. You need to see another game. Like, you're right, it could certainly be Collins. I'm not going to drop Collins either. And as an owner, a little bit bummed to see that because he gets into the end zone pretty early in that game. They ran the ball the first 13 plays,
And it worked.
They moved all the way up the field and ran the ball.
Put it this way: Cincinnati, especially with Hugh Jackson now on the staff, not great at adjustments. I'm going to throw that out there.
And I laughed every time they showed Hugh Jackson on the sidelines.
Well,
It's just like,
you
how
want
is
to
this
talk
guy
about
on the
something
sidelines
crappy?
already?
You want to see the Hugh effect? Mixon, 62% of the snaps. Gio, 47%. Thanks, Hugh.
Yeah, my goodness.
Great insight.
Yeah, that's just brutal, man. But I mean, yeah, they're gonna. This is a team, you're right, that's gonna want to run the football, and the matchups moving forward are not bad. Would you say Cleveland this? They got,
You told me Cleveland.
well, they got KC, Oakland.
They have Oakland
and then
this week.
and then they have KC, Tampa Bay a little bit later on. Like, those are, you can run on the Chiefs. You probably have to throw the football a little bit more if you're Lamar Jackson, but I mean, you can't ignore top 10 in touches and carries this week. You can't ignore that on the waiver wire.
I agree. And like we mentioned in the schedule, there's 3 glorious matchups. There's only 5 weeks left.
Exactly.
So you take the chance. I'm not saying he's going to be ranked in my top 10 next week.
And they don't like Alex Collins.
Now they hate Alex Collins.
Yeah, they don't give him.
How many does Alex Collins have? Like 7 touchdowns this year?
Yeah, I think right around there.
It's funny 'cause
they're all kind of goal line opportunities, but at the same time, he's not guaranteed those opportunities.
No.
Like, Allen had more red zone opportunities than him last year, and Allen in the first few weeks had more opportunities than Collins this year. He was getting on the field in third down rolls when Collins can catch as well. And I think Collins is the best back on that team, but he doesn't get treated that way.
So explain this to me. I have Josh Adams at number 3. People are really gung-ho on Josh Adams. And if he doesn't score that touchdown, he's useless.
Yeah, he does. And it was, again, what we talked about before. Remember we joked you and I could have ran through some of the lines that he had 2-3 weeks ago? It was the same thing.
He was just gone.
He was just gone in open field. It was a great
Now,
block.
he should be able to replicate. If they do give him the ball, he should be higher in these rankings because against the Giants, they should be able to run all over them because the Giants have no run defense. So it's a decent spot for him this week. It's just I don't trust Doug Peterson. Like, Adams played 55% of the snaps yesterday. Clement played 27. Smallwood played 8.
Yeah.
Now, Smallwood has been leading this backfield for the previous 4 weeks. So what happened to Smallwood?
So Smallwood, that's what I mean. That's why I think we can feel better about Adams, because Smallwood hasn't been a factor at all for 2 straight weeks now.
But if we talk next Monday morning, and Wendell Smallwood has played 53% of the snaps, are you going to be surprised? No is the answer.
Yeah.
Like, take the chance on Adams, yes. Mm-hmm. But like Edwards, like you can't just pencil this guy in and be like, oh, he's gonna be great.
Yeah, because I don't think there's going to be an opportunity where Adams touches the ball 17 times. Like I don't think that's going to happen. And as bad as his secondary is, you might see some more throws. But I've noticed, and this is the first time where we have just the clearest picture of this backfield. It really is, because Smallwood has, 1 carry in 2 games now?
Yeah.
And Clement is not a factor.
He's returning kicks.
He's returning kicks, and the only time I've seen Clement and Smallwood on the field or even touch the ball is just through the air on 3rd down. They've just caught a couple balls over the past couple weeks. So Peterson said before last week that they needed to get the ball to Adams a little bit more. He runs physical. He's much bigger than Smallwood and Clement combined. So there's also that. But at the same time, if you lost Kelsey for the season and Lane Johnson is already banged up, he's not 100%, and you got Peters who's a little bit older. They're not going to be able to run the football. They haven't all year.
And listen, if you played Josh Adams 55% of the snaps, and you go look at the score of the game, be like, oh, we lost by 40? Maybe that wasn't the best move.
Yeah. Because
maybe we need a pass catching back on the field.
Because he's not getting any targets or he's not catching.
He had 3 catches yesterday, but that was just by osmosis of being on the field.
That was just, that was late in the last drive, I believe. So
yeah.
I like him the best. I think, like I said, there's a clearer picture. You could start him this week.
You could.
Yeah, as a borderline RB2.
You could get 2 points from him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This backfield.
Like this week, if you had to start one, do you think you would start Edwards or Adams? I'd start Edwards.
Yeah, I would too, just going off of what I've seen.
Yeah, and they get over
this. But at the same time, it's the same thing, man. We could sit here on Monday and be like,
yeah, the guy got 0 carries.
Yeah, Edwards.
Up. Richard got 10 carries yesterday, or 11 carries, which is shocking.
Yeah.
And actually looked like kind of good on them.
He did.
But I don't think they're going to just be like, Jalen Richard, here are the keys.
Yeah,
Go nuts, man.
They can't. So you're right about Washington is a good call. He got the goal line opportunity yesterday.
He's going to be their Doug Martin.
Yeah.
But Richard's still going to be on the field a ton. And against Baltimore, it's not a great matchup. They're probably going to have to throw a ton.
Yeah, I like Elijah McGuire. I think he's pretty solid, pretty safe. He's got that Bilal Powell role, which he's also carrying the ball a few times. He's catching, and then Corral is just
basically with Powell, you pencil him into 7 to 10 carries with the potential for more, but that's sort of his floor, and like 3 catches with the potential for more.
For more, yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, and we've seen it. We've seen it over the past couple weeks. It's actually been a couple more than 3 catches.
So if just take a look at this Detroit breakdown here. So Carrion's probably going to miss the game.
Yeah, this is rough.
They play Chicago on Thanksgiving.
It's a brutal matchup.
Bad matchup because Dalvin Cook was certainly shut down. I got that one way wrong.
And they've been shutting down backs all year. I think they allowed 1 rushing touchdown.
Yeah, but I mean, the Chargers hadn't given up a rushing touchdown until they gave up 3 yesterday. Carrion played 51% of the snaps. Theo Riddick is playing 42%. He didn't work the slot as much because Bruce Ellington comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know.
Sneaky play, by the way, for next week in full PPR formats. Belore played 26%. Blunt only played 18%. I assume Blunt will be the one to carry it between the tackles, but I would expect almost a full split between him and Riddick. And if that's the case, give me the floor, Riddick.
Oh, absolutely. Riddick all day, even in a standard format. I don't care.
Because you know what Minnesota really could have done last night? Thrown screen passes, which they just didn't.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a ton of pressure coming at us all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just dump it off instead of just trying to run up the gut every 1st and 10.
Yeah, it didn't work at all. They couldn't do anything in that game until late. It was garbage time for Kirk Cousins and Diggs. But I agree with you, Theo Riddick, even over Blunt in a standard format. You're with Blunt, it's just like Derrick Henry. You're just hoping for a touchdown. He runs one in. But again, it's not a great matchup. It's too bad. Carrion has looked really good, and he looked strong in that game yesterday.
So hopefully he can play. He's not officially ruled out or anything. It doesn't look good for his prospects of playing. So I'm treating it like he's not playing.
I would treat it that way too. It's tough, the short week.
And Detroit's in it, but they're not in it.
Yeah, they're not.
They're 4-6.
Yeah. We can't count them out. We were talking about the Eagles. At least Detroit is a little bit healthier, but they need Marvin Jones. Kenny Golladay had a really good game, but I don't know if he can face top coverage like all that attention. You need somebody else on the other side to help him out. But yeah, Theo's fine. In his first 2 games back, he led the team in catches. So I mean,
he was only 5 for 30 yesterday. He did have 8 targets though.
Yeah, the 8 targets. 5.
And if they fall behind against the Bears, that's what they're going to do. They're going to dump it off because it's not like Stafford's going to have any time to throw. Just dump.
No time to throw.
I'm going to like him on the Showdown slate. I make him my captain.
And pair him up with Theo.
I mean, Theo, my captain.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, fine. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wide receivers. We got injuries. AJ Green could return this week.
It sounds like he may.
He was practicing on, he got upgraded from out to doubtful before the game.
he tested the injury.
And then there was talk that he could play, so he's questionable for week 12.
It's positive for everyone that offense.
Edelman should be back. Marvin Jones probably not going to play. I don't know. We'll have to see the reports on him, but that's a Thursday game. Randall Cobb could be back. Devontae Parker hurt his shoulder before the bye, so check on him. LaFell, I think, ruptured his Achilles.
I think he's done for the year.
I have him likely to miss the rest of the season. I don't have the official word yet. I haven't checked this morning, but I'll update that when it comes out. Expect him to be out. Then you have Jordy Nelson, who he just wants to retire. And then Martavis Bryant's dealing with a multiple week knee injury, so he's probably out too. So the Raiders have no one. They have this guy, Marcel Aitman.
Man.
He was 4 for 50 yesterday, played 65 to 68 snaps.
Things are rough. Carr is definitely gone from that team, 100%. I mean, I didn't have any doubt, but watching yesterday, he's gone.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It's just I would like to hear that conversation with two of them. They're just like, whoa, what? They just kept doing this with their arms, and they're I mean, he's completely done. He doesn't have a lot to work with, but he just makes bonehead plays.
They did win.
They did win.
Tywan Taylor missed the week. Robbie Anderson, coming off the bye, had missed 3 of his past 4 games with an ankle injury. He should be back. Josh Malone probably doesn't matter anymore if AJ Green is coming back, but he's missed another game with a hamstring injury. Yeah. Crowder was out again. Chad Williams was out again. Garcon missed the week before the bye. He could be back. Sammy Watkins is expected to miss tonight's game as they activated some guy named Gunter.
Yeah, that was tricky. He was getting a lot of Sammy questions, and you don't want to roll the dice with Sammy.
Yeah, he was unlikely to play. As soon as they activated that dude from the practice squad,
you just move on.
He's not officially been ruled out yet,
right,
but probably going to be out.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll be back. They go on bye week next week.
So he should be fine.
Yeah.
Look at the big picture if you're Kansas City.
Yeah. So number 1 in the wide receiver pickup power rankings, I got Kiki.
Yeah.
I've been big on Kiki all year, and he did nothing to dispel. He returned to full strength, and what does he do? Way better than Demaryius Thomas.
Thomas didn't do anything. A big fat 0. I think he had maybe 1 target.
Dude's dust, man.
Yeah, he's...
All these guys, Josh Gordon got traded earlier in the season, but he was terrible for 4 weeks. Yeah. Receivers that get traded midseason don't do anything.
It's, you know what, you're right, and it seems to be tough for all of these guys to kind of grasp the playbook, and it was the same thing with Golden Tate yesterday. Yeah. You look at Tate, he led the Eagles in targets and in catches, but all of it came on the last drive. He was not a factor at all in that offense in the first week after a bye. He had 2 weeks to try to learn the playbook and be involved in the offense, and he wasn't. He played, I think, 20% of the snaps in that first game. So Demaryius Thomas,
cuttable.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw him ranked consensus as a wide receiver 3, and you can't be taking zeros, guys. He's not getting targets.
I got a lot wrong. Didn't get that wrong. No. Dusty Demaryius.
Yeah, he was
throw him to the waiver wire.
He was cheap on DK too.
He was in your best lineup, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't in my best. He was in a couple of my good ones. Yeah, because when you spend down, I had Barkley and Zeke across the board everywhere. And when you spend down, you're looking in that Aguilar range, who was disappointing in that $4,000 range. And Kiki was a guy that stands out as a guy who's he has a role on that team in the slot, getting targets, and he's explosive. He's a good wideout.
Yeah. So I want to give a shout out to, I want to get the name right here, because if you use the cheat sheet, pretty good this week.
Pretty good.
I didn't have a great week in particular, but there was the right combination in there, because I had DJ Moore and Traquan as my GPP plays.
Nice.
So if you use them, you did pretty well.
Yeah, those are good guys. And Carolina, keep an eye on them just when they play games on turf and domes. They're just so explosive, some of their guys.
And as long as Torrey Smith is out, he's another guy who missed the game. Just continue rolling out DJ Moore. He's going to be unpredictable.
Yeah.
But there's no real difference between him and Kelvin Ridley right now.
No.
Ridley's either the best guy in the league or the worst guy in the league. That's it.
Yeah, there's these rookie wideouts. There's a lot of hype with them heading into the season. I kind of try to fade them during the year, and then when they start slow, there's good buy low opportunities to get guys like DJ Moore. Was a great buy low candidate.
Shout out Kyle Creelman, viewer of the Pat Mayo Experience, long time viewer.
Nice.
Won his spot in the Fantasy Football World Championships, I believe, for the second straight year. $62,000.
Wow. Nice. Well done.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
I gotta start taking advice from that guy.
Yeah, no kidding. That's some good stuff, because if you had Traquan or DJ Moore, you were on your way with, there's a lot of top tier backs yesterday.
Yeah, they were the key to unlocking the top guys. And boom, Peyton Barber, Traquan, DJ Moore. If you had those 3 guys, you could pay up for Saquon.
He was actually in my best lineup.
Ingram was in this guy's lineup too.
Yeah, you know what? It's pretty obvious. Anytime that the Saints
are at home.
It's
basically at home. Ingram's been piling up these numbers.
And especially heavy favorites that, they're going to run the clock. There's no reason for Alvin Kamara to touch that football field in the second half. Like, he got his nice little touchdown pass and found the end zone.
He did. He actually, like, surprisingly, and I always like that, like, Ingram scored his touchdown from deep, but, like, goal line, they gave. Here's a fun fact about Mark Ingram. Sucks around the goal line. Always gets stuffed.
It's like, who's that Satan guy?
Stuffed like he's a fucking porn star at every goal line.
I know, he could have had a better day.
Yeah, but he always gets stuffed.
Yeah.
All of his touchdowns come from like 23 yards away.
Yeah.
And they put in Kamara touchdown.
Yeah, I know.
So where do I have it? It was 63%? Oh, yeah, Satan, 43%.
Like, who's that Satan guy?
Kamara, 63% of the snaps still.
Yeah.
And this week, he's in the late Thanksgiving game. And it's because I already wrote this one up too. It was the 16 carry, 15 catch game from earlier in week 3 when Ingram was out against Atlanta. No touchdowns. 180 yards on 30 something touches. And when 15 catches. That was a week where Chris Thompson had like 15 catches too.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's
Alvin
amazing.
Kamara is
like they're letting Ingram walk at the end of the year, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, there's no reason
I can't wait for him to be when the Jets pass on Le'Veon Bell and get Mark Ingram, who's terrible.
Oh, man, he may be a member of the Eagles next year. They're going to address the situation through the draft, of course, but ugh.
You wouldn't give Bell $17 million a year, would you?
No. And I'm looking around, not if I'm the Jets.
If you're anyone. Is it worth paying Le'Veon Bell $17 million a year? Is he even that good? Like, is James Conner awesome?
Yeah,
he's great at dropping easy
touchdowns. He had his worst game. That's expected from the kid. I mean, he's been unbelievable all year. Leagues. Yeah, killed us. He dropped that ball in the end zone. Dropped a couple balls. You know what? I'm looking around. It has to be on a team where you have a cost-effective quarterback, and
but
you're not spending, like. What if you're the Texans? Does that put you over the top?
No, it doesn't.
Why? You got a Bell and Hopkins and a solid defense.
But it's not like Miller's been bad. He's actually been quite good.
Yeah, he's been okay, but let's be honest. Like, that's a significant difference.
Go draft a pass-catching running back in the 3rd round.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money to spend on a guy who you haven't seen play football for. It'll be almost a year and a half before he plays, and he's had significant injuries in his career.
Look, the Texans have no offensive line. None to speak of. Go spend that $17 million on offensive linemen.
Yeah, obviously, if you can, that's a better investment, 100%.
Like, just divvy up that $17 million, spend it on 3 offensive linemen instead of paying Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, I'm looking around that Washington's not going to do it.
No, because they have
and they got guys coming back.
The Colts are logical, but I think
Colts are logical.
I think the Colts with Frank Reich like running 4 running backs out there, and Mac's been good.
Yeah, and that's what he did in Philadelphia.
So it's going to be like Oakland or the Jets or the Bills.
And Oakland's definitely not.
It's going to be some shit team that pays Le'Veon Bell all this money because they're stupid.
Yeah, and they, like the Bills, let's bring in a marquee player and.
Oh yeah, we'll have Shady and Bell. We're outthinking everyone now.
The Colts are definitely interesting because that offensive line is so nice, and that's.
But then why if it's so nice, why do you need to go pay a running back $17 million?
No, yeah, you bring up a good point. I mean, we had this conversation before about Dallas, right? I mean, why are you drafting Zeke so early if you have an unbelievable offensive line and plug it in and go that route? But at the same time, like these are. I mean, for Zeke, obviously he's a few years younger, but he's a player, man.
Zeke's fantastic.
Zeke's awesome. I don't know, man. I'm looking around.
It's a great luxury to have, but tying up that much salary cap into Bell, who's just skipped.
I can't see Oakland doing it. I can't see Oakland.
Can. Oakland will do the stupidest stuff possible.
My goodness, that would be absolutely
if it can be
ridiculous.
Done very stupidly, I believe Oakland might do it.
And that's crazy because they've done the right thing in moving on from their best 2 players and getting some first round picks.
They've done the right thing, but I don't think they did it on purpose. I think they're just stupid and they backdoored their way into it. Yep. So the rest of the wide receiver rankings, they got Cutie at number 1, Tyrell Williams, Cortland Sutton, Anthony Miller, Josh Reynolds. The Rams going by this week, and he's gonna be boomer bust. He's a guy to own. Then I have DJ Moore and Traquan. I worry that, like you mentioned, when they're not on turf, DJ Moore's not as good, but he's going to be incredibly boomer bust. And when Torrey Smith comes back, Torrey Smith is going to play.
Yeah.
And that just takes away snaps and targets from DJ Moore, who's looked great. But he's going to be the guy that people are going to be so gung-ho to pick up like they were the first time around, and he'll go deliver 1 catch next week.
Yeah.
Well, same as Traquan. I think everyone forgets Traquan had, 0 points last week?
Not just last week. Like, he had that big game against Washington where Brees set that record, and Washington looked like they weren't trying. And he had that huge game, and then he was invisible for almost 4 weeks, I think. He hadn't done anything.
And then you got, Austin Carr catching touchdowns, Kirkwood Kirkwood Smith from That 70s Show. The dad, he's in there. Brendan Marshall
is going to be a red zone option.
Like-
We laugh about him, but he's a guy that's going to be on the football field taking away a little bit from Traquan Smith.
Just DJ Moore and Traquan are going to be very untrustworthy. Ownable for sure.
I would rather more than
in a
Traquan.
pinch, you play them because they have such high upside.
Yeah.
But don't be furious when they put up 0 points.
Yeah, absolutely. They're both boom or bust, and that matchup was just phenomenal against the Eagles. Again, their secondary is pathetic. So I mean, all of those guys. I just look ahead. I didn't write the Saints down here because they're matchup proof, but for Traquan Smith, I think I like DJ Moore. I think I like
the
Moore
floor
more.
of DJ Moore a little bit better too.
Yeah.
So the other guys on there, like Bruce Ellington, number 9, as long as Marv is out and he's playing the slot, he's basically like he's Golden Tate-esque. He's not as good as Golden Tate, but he does the same thing.
Yeah, and Tate led that team in targets.
Yeah,
it was
like
a
he's
Stafford's guy.
Like he had 9 targets yesterday. Like he'll get catches,
You got to get rid of the ball quick in that offense.
especially against the Bears.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So the other guys, like Trey Quinn, I mentioned, he's going to be playing the slot for Washington as long as Jamison Crowder's out. He led the team in targets yesterday, or outside of Jordan Reed.
Yeah.
But he could do that again.
Sure.
With Colt McCoy, easy throws are probably the best.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
He was the last guy picked in the draft this year. Trey Quinn. He's been on IR for like this week.
Let's see what they got because,
Yeah, they're finished.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't been able to move the ball all year.
So the other one, like I said,
Except for AP.
If all these Oakland guys are out, Marcel Aitman is someone to look at because they'll have easy matchups. What's Oakland's finishing schedule? 'Cause they have the Ravens this week, which is brutal. But after that, to close out did you 14, 15, 16?
Yeah, I did 14, 15, 16. You know what? I didn't write Oakland just because they're garbage. So I'll just, I'll look it up. There's a couple teams I stayed away from. The Bills, I got the schedule up here now. The Bills, I stayed away from. The Jets.
You're not feeling Zay Jones?
Yeah, Zay Jones in the slot last week
So
was
Oakland
pretty
rest
good.
of the season has Baltimore, Kansas City, the Steelers, the Bengals, and Broncos. So the Chiefs and Bengals are primo matchups.
Those are, and there's gonna, this is a team that's gonna have to throw the football. And if Doug Martin missed some time and DeAndre Washington can't be successful on the ground, there's a reason he's been the 3rd, 4th string for a couple
I think
of
he's
years
better
now.
than Doug Martin, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, I mean he should be. Martin actually,
Dusty Doug?
it's been at least 4 yards per carry every single week. And last week he totaled
Since
over 90
Marshawn
yards.
Lynch has been out,
Yeah.
PPR and standard scoring, Richard's outscored him 3 or 4 weeks, and Richard hasn't scored a touchdown yet. And all Oakland tries to do in these fucking games is give Doug Martin touchdowns, and he can't get into the end zone.
He can't get in. I was a little intrigued with him yesterday, and that's on me. That's my bad. I like to get a little bit nuts with some of my lineups. He's like $4,000 or something, but he was coming off a game where he had 15 carries was a season high, 92 yards was a season high, and then I saw yesterday 10 carries for 50 yards. I'm like, okay, and what is a good matchup against Arizona? Maybe he tops 100 yards in that game if he gets the carries, but that's the thing. Like this team doesn't score a lot of points, and when they get in near the red zone, he can't do anything with it, and he can't get in. So his ceiling is really capped. But there's not a lot to like from Oakland, but certainly you can take a shot on some pass catchers because there's nobody there.
Tight ends? We got O.J. Howard dealing with an ankle injury.
Yeah,
That's bad news.
that is bad
Good
news.
news for Cameron Brate, potentially, although we tried this last time.
We did.
He fluked his way. I think
He had like one catch
Yeah.
and the one touchdown.
So-
Jameis likes him.
And Jameis is back, we think. O.J. Howard, Jimmy Graham broke his thumb. He's
He's done,
You can
it
drop
seems
Jimmy
like,
Graham.
yeah.
He's finished. Gronk should be back this week. Charles Clay should be back. You don't want any part of that. Michael Roberts actually missed the game for the Lions with a shoulder injury. He's unlikely to play on a short week. Yeah. So in the actual pickups, we can just fly through these because it's all the same dudes. Yeah. Heuerman, number 1.
Yeah.
Because he gets catches every game. We played Ricky Seals-Jones, 6.5 points.
He didn't do anything.
Heuerman, Brate, Herndon, Vance, Uzama.
Yeah. It was another Bengals tight end who got a touchdown yesterday. Forget his name.
Yeah, someone actually played him in our 10-man league.
Nope.
I'd never heard of the guy before.
10-man league and they rolled him out. Unbelievable. That's crazy. Guys are.
It was our friend who knows the
like
least
3
about
tight ends.
football. And like,
How does that happen? It's like the only guy who owned him yesterday.
he's a third-string Bengals tight end for 2,500 scoring touchdown. He outscored Greg Olson.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, Heuerman, Brate. You take the chance on Brate, right?
Yeah, I would take the chance on Braden
If Howard is out.
If Howard is out, the defense sucks, and they just continue to throw the ball a ton. And really, I know Barber had a good game, but they haven't been able to run the football.
Barber has better games with Winston. I mean, he had the one he scored even yesterday. When Winston came in, he scores the touchdown all of a sudden.
And there's one play that I think it was against the Saints or the Falcons. He had that late touchdown catch too with Winston in there.
That was with Winston.
Yeah.
So quarterbacks to stream for the week. I got Jameis at number 1. against San Francisco. If he's playing like the guy chucks it,
Yeah.
he might chuck 8 picks, but as long as he doesn't get yanked, he generally has a pretty good game.
Yeah,
And I think that's who we're going to need to pick up.
Yeah, as a Patrick Mahomes owner, I was looking ahead and I had grabbed Fitzpatrick against San Fran because I didn't want to beat anyone. I didn't want to have that battle in the waiver wire, even though there's only 2 teams on bye. Now I'm going to have to go and make that sub for Jameis. I mean, again, it's a good matchup, and it's every time we see Jameis, it's like Fitzpatrick. Like, they both throw the ball a ton, but the picks are there. But Jameis, go look back at his...
Know the downside that comes with them.
Yeah, he threw a couple picks, but
it's easy volume.
40-plus throws.
Yeah.
It almost... I think 12 times last year, he had at least 290 yards. He can play a lot of games. It's like 9 of 12 games last year, I think he had 290 yards.
He's not good, but he's fantasy good.
Yeah, and he's got weapons around him.
That helps.
Yeah.
So I have Jameis at home against San Francisco, Lamar at home against the Raiders.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to run the ball 25 times and get to the rushing bonus, like, you're going to score 20 points.
And
it's basically Tim Tebow.
Yeah. And he is going to run the ball like at least 15 times.
Yeah.
At least. He's such a good runner, too. Like, he was just jogging to the sidelines. I'll take the first down here.
I got Baker Mayfield at the Bengals because the Bengals defense so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
Nick Mullins at Tampa. I mean, if Eli's putting up points, why can't Nick Mullins?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And then, like, Dalton against Cleveland, Dak against the Redskins. I still respect the Redskins D.
Yeah, I do, too. I agree with you. You know, we have Dak. I would rather Winston.
Yeah, we'll go
This
after
week.
Winston.
Yeah.
I'd rather get Baker back.
Yeah, for sure. I still respect the Washington D as well.
Defenses you can stream for the week. I guess I should say Mariota's hurt and Alex Smith is going to miss the year.
Yeah.
That happens.
That's
And all the quarterbacks in the AFC East might be coming back. Tannehill, Darnold,
that's
and
right.
Allen.
yeah.
They're all hurt. But no one's playing those idiots.
Yeah, so you're right. I think Allen will play. I think
Good.
that's kind
I'd like
of why
to see.
they released.
I need some Josh Allen like leaping over people back
Peterman.
in my life.
Yeah.
All the sad Bills fans at the bar need something to cheer about.
Dude had like 8 red zone rushing attempts in 2 games.
So defenses you can stream this week at Dallas Thursday at home against Washington. They're below the threshold.
Absolutely.
New England at the Jets.
Yep.
You don't love New England's D, but at the Jets is always
Especially
nice.
if Darnold's going to play.
Or McCown. I don't think it matters at this point.
Yeah.
The Chargers against Arizona.
Yep.
Indy at home against Miami. Buffalo at home against Jacksonville.
Yeah, absolutely, Buffalo. They've been a really solid pass defense. Is one of the best in the league.
And Saints at home against the Falcons. Don't love it. That's a lot of volume coming back at
Yeah.
you. Like, that just takes a Ryan pick 6 and you pay off the price.
Sure, and you got a lot of options there at the top. You probably don't need to go that deep.
I want to talk to you about the strength of schedule thing.
Yeah.
So people getting prepared for the playoffs, I think this is very important. That
For sure.
If you've clinched a playoff spot or you're dicey or you have a matchup next week, you need to start looking ahead just a little bit. So you've written down you've highlighted some of the
So
best
yeah,
schedules.
I wrote them all down, but I highlighted some of the best. You just start at the top. I mean, Carolina, I got week 14, 15, 16. So Carolina is somebody we liked a lot in Christian McCaffrey, right? Already because we loved the schedule going down the stretch. So at Cleveland, week 14, home to the Saints, then home to Atlanta. Those are some pretty good matchups for everybody actually in that offense. You look at Cleveland, all 3 of those teams are in the bottom 5 when it comes to yards allowed, passing yards allowed. They've been really friendly to fantasy in the fantasy environment. So those are some teams. Chargers, week 14 they're going to play the Bengals, and then they're going to have KC. Those are some decent.
And then they get Baltimore.
Then they get
16.
Baltimore. Mentioned Denver. Lindsey has been.
San Fran, Cleveland, Oakland.
Doesn't get much better than that, man. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
We're looking at a team that could have 7 or 8 wins.
I mean, Denver's D is probably one you want to pick up. San Fran, Cleveland, Oakland.
Yep.
Because they were probably dropped playing the Chargers. People aren't really in on them.
Yeah, that's a
They
good
could be a
call.
very sneaky playoff D that has 3 good, when you start assessing week 14, 15, 16, we're at the point of the year now where if you want to start hoarding defenses
Yeah.
for those specific weeks, because let's say you have a week 14 bye, just go pick up a week 15 defense now, scout that out. And Denver against Cleveland, not bad.
It's not bad at all. Like you said, you're going to play Mullins and then Baker. Like, we like him, but he's been very inaccurate. He's thrown
And then
some picks,
Oakland.
some turnovers, and then Oakland is phenomenal. So that's a defense that I wonder what their ownership is. You're right.
They
everyone
were down.
probably
They were
dropped-
down. I didn't like them this week because
Yeah.
who did they play this
Everyone
week?
probably dropped them, en masse because
They were below the threshold. I was looking it up, but I didn't love their matchup.
They play
this week.
Pittsburgh this week,
Yeah,
so it's very
didn't-
tough. So nobody's going to.
So no one's going to go pick
no
them
one's
up.
gonna own them.
So if
Plan
you're
ahead.
in the playoffs, you can go pick up Denver's D right now.
Yeah. Pittsburgh's Pittsburgh. Obviously, they're pretty matchup proof.
Who do they get in the
They got
playoffs?
Oakland, the Pats, and then the Saints. So they're
you
gonna
don't
be in
want-
some
you don't want their
shootouts. You
defense.
don't want their defense, but obviously you own all their skill players.
So Vance might.
Vance Yeah. Vance, he found the end zone yesterday.
Yeah, he's going to be unpredictable, but those are good matchups.
But those, they're going to have to pass the ball. Those are going to be shootouts, like back-to-back 14 and 15 and 16 against the Pats and the Saints. Baltimore, we kind of already touched on for Lamar Jackson, but Kansas City and Tampa Bay, those are some pretty good matchups. Like the Chiefs' defense is not great, and they're going to score some points, right? So Lamar may have to throw the ball a little bit more. Cleveland is going to have Carolina, but I like the Week 15 and 16 matchups at Denver and then home to the Bengals.
Yeah, I don't hate against Carolina.
Yeah, no. So like Duke, maybe
nothing special.
I don't think Duke was dropped, but he's going to be involved.
We
in
got
those
Duke.
games.
That's one of the reasons why we were able to trade Melvin Gordon.
Yeah,
for what we did.
And I wonder how people feel about Deshaun Watson. You know how people get crazy after 1 week. In Washington,
did he have that bad of a game?
He had like 11 fantasy points. Yeah. It wasn't phenomenal. So, but the matchups down the stretch, phenomenal for him. Colts, so he's going to be home against the Colts, so I think he can throw on. The Jets, you can throw on them. And then at Philadelphia, you're going to be able to throw on them. So some really good matchups. Also for Lamar Miller, maybe this run defense in Philly is not as good as
unless Foreman ends up coming back.
So maybe somebody to think about.
So here's some defenses you can pick up. In Week 14, you can pick up the Jets defense. Do you know why? I mean, we just tried this, but they're playing the Bills.
They're playing the Bills.
The Lions play the Bills in Detroit Week 15, and the Patriots play them Week 16 in New England. I mean, they're the team giving up the most points to opposing defenses. So those are, no one owns the Lions.
Nobody.
And they have a great pass rush.
Yeah, they do.
So that's one team to look at. Teams playing the Jets, Buffalo, Houston, and Green Bay. Green Bay's pass rush, if they're still kind of in it in Week 16, they could figure out a way to get in it. They could beat up on the Jets, and no one wants to own the Packers defense. Teams against the Cardinals coming up. You got Detroit. Detroit's sneaky playoff D.
I know.
Bills and Cardinals?
Yeah, Arizona, Buffalo, and then Minnesota Week 16. We just cut them by then. But yeah.
You can play them against Minnesota. Kirk Cousins, not afraid of a pick.
Man, Kirk Cousins. He paid a lot of money to be mediocre.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen has really saved anything that he's done this year. Thielen has been...
Their offensive line is...
It's not much better than Washington's, where he left and he was on his ass all the time.
This is true. So who else could you play? Who are the Raiders play down the stretch? Would you say there was Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Denver? Yeah, Denver's D is the one you would want. So Denver's and the Lions.
D is solid.
Denver and the Lions seem to be the two defenses that have 2+ matchups for the fantasy playoffs. If you're looking ahead right now, and both those defenses wildly unowned.
Yep, for sure.
So that's why, because it's not like you can trade anymore.
Yeah, you can't trade.
You shouldn't be able to trade.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able. You shouldn't see any more trades. If so, you're gonna have to hit up your commissioner and tell him to change the rules.
But another reason why Gus Edwards might be just worth the spec, because he has these matchups.
Exactly.
And if he is the guy, he should roll.
You've been able to run on Kansas City all year and throw on them, and same with Tampa Bay. So those are really good matchups. And we just saw the Chargers. You said, 3 rushing touchdowns they gave up yesterday?
Yeah.
All those scores?
Chargers D, pretty sweet playoff D. With Bosa back now, too.
Yeah. Cincy,
they
Kansas
go Cincy,
City.
Casey. Casey's, you don't want to play Casey.
You don't want
Baltimore
to play Casey,
and Cincinnati.
But Baltimore and Cincinnati are prime time. Those, especially Cincinnati. Those are the teams that I've highlighted, right? Teams that have kind of already checked out, like Oakland, Cincinnati. I know that they're, Cincinnati's kind of still in it, but their defense has been awful.
The Rams defense could be eligible to be picked up. I know they're not a great defense, but they can get the pass rush going. They're at Chicago Week 14. They're against Philly, and they're at Arizona. So the one thing that the Rams do is they make the other teams throw so much against them that if you get Trubisky not running but throwing 40 times, that's pick city.
Yeah, and we saw yesterday, Trubisky has still got a lot to learn. He's a great fantasy quarterback. He runs around. He does enough. He's got some weapons, and Nagy plays to his strengths. But he still throws a couple bonehead. I saw 3 or 4 very poor throws from him last night.
It just seems like sometimes he doesn't know where the ball's quite going when it comes out of his hand.
Yeah.
He doesn't know if it's going to be way too far or way too short.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is also the master of that.
Oh yeah, he and we saw that yesterday with Wentz, man. He underthrew 3 or 4 guys and then overthrew 3 or 4 guys.
Gunning it at people too at close range. It's calm down, man.
Yeah, he was fired up. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk briefly about Showdown.
Arizona too, a decent schedule. Not for defense.
And good. Oh, really?
Not for defense so much. Detroit, sure, but Detroit, Atlanta, and then the Rams. I know the Rams not great, but some passing attempts. Larry Fitz is obviously, definitely 100% startable now for everyone who cut ties with him weeks ago. I think he's a solid wide receiver too the rest of the way.
say he's a low-end wide receiver, too.
All right.
Because there's going to be games where he does nothing because it's that offense.
Yeah, but at least he's going to get the volume.
Yes, he should at least.
Yeah.
So, Showdown tonight. I mean, it's a
man.
plethora of good news.
Yeah, what do you do?
In your cap, let's just talk about captain spot.
Yeah.
Only. Who do you put in there? Because if you put Gurley in, that's all your bucks.
It's all your bucks.
If you put Mahomes in, that's also all your bucks. So do you take, like, I think Reynolds is going to be very popular because he's cheap.
Because how are you going to fit everyone in? You need to have that.
Like, as your captain,
like
he
the
would only be
chalk play.
7,200 playing the 1.5 price. So I think that's what people are going to do. I don't know if I do that, though.
And then spend up elsewhere. It's so tough to pick.
You could pick like Conley or Demarcus Robinson if Watkins misses the game, but I think they're cheap enough that like if you had to pick the one stud in this game that you go with, who is it? I think it's Mahomes.
It's probably Mahomes. It could be Kelsey.
But Mahomes gets all the Kelsey points.
I know.
Is the thing. So if you get like one rushing touchdown from Mahomes, or he throws it to God who knows. Like I would be picking off the Chiefs' periphery pieces here. Like if you're gonna play multiple showdown lines, because I mean that's how you win in showdown.
Yeah.
Is you're gonna have Demetrius Harris and he's
Yeah.
gonna catch a 60-yard touchdown and no one else has him. You're like, oh,
Do
perfect.
you roll the dice with one of the Rams tight ends? Like good luck there. But you know,
Like Demetrius Harris is $900.
it allows you to do some creative things with your
Chris
lineup.
Chris Conley is gonna be popular because he's $1,800. Like that's cheap.
Yeah. You know,
What's Demarcus Robinson's price? I didn't even see
Eh,
him here.
Mahomes-
Demarcus Robinson's $1,500. I'd probably roll the dice on Demarcus Robinson over Conley because everyone will use Conley. I'm talking about the $11 one, the huge one.
The huge one, yeah. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good strategy to take. I mean,
Higbee and Everett are 36 and 33. I don't want either one.
No, it's you're really rolling the dice. You're just looking at one or two catches from either of those guys and
Hope it's a touchdown.
Hope it's a touchdown, which we saw last week. But
That's why I think Demarcus Robinson would be my play as the cheap chief to take.
yeah, I think that's a pretty good call.
Put that in right now.
Yeah, and it allows you to do some creative things with your lineup. You know, I think Mahomes probably has the better day. And you know what I've seen from Hunt, I was looking at all the running backs who've caught like at least 40 balls, and he's not up there. But he only had like 5 catches his first 5 games. Then he reeled off 3 straight games with at least 5 grabs. Like he's been more involved in through the air in the past.
And this is a game where he's not going to, like, especially with the bye week coming up for both these teams, they're going to kind of leave it out there. This is kind of a matchup of who's going to be the best. Besides the Saints, like, who's the next best team or the best team?
Yeah, track meet, some throws, some quick throws.
Watch
too.
it be like 10-3.
That'd be disappointing because in all my picks when I'm doing my tiebreaker is like 70 points. Like I'm on the over for sure.
Well, the over in these I think it's plus 58-point games. Like 9 of the 10 in history have gone over.
Yeah.
And I don't think this line's getting any smaller.
This is only the 4th time in history too where 2 teams have met up this late in the season where they only have 1 or 0 losses. Now they both have 1. So like this is pretty rare to see 2 elite teams going head to head in a matchup like this, and just they're both 2 and 3. Like they're 2 and 3 in offense.
Yeah, and the Rams are still 3-point favorites in this game. 63 is the over.
I like the Rams.
I like the Chiefs.
Do you?
I think the Chiefs win.
Yeah.
The Rams have been playing just so many.
They've been playing a lot of close games and just squeaking by. I've noticed that too. I've also noticed that. Like they lost that game against
Like they just haven't
Saints.
they haven't been covering a lot of spreads.
Yeah.
And that usually leads me to believe that like a loss is coming.
Yeah. That's a good call because they could have easily lost both those games to Seattle. They lost by a combined 6 or 7 points in both of those games.
Seattle has, I mean, maybe Kareem Hunt is the play at captain. So I think Seattle kind of exposed what you can do against the Rams to slow them down. Just run. Run. That's all Seattle did, and it worked.
Can Andy Reid
Do that?
Scale it back.
I don't know if he has the...
Can he scale it back? Because he doesn't like to run. He likes to pass. But you're right. You don't want, as good as your offense is, you don't want to get into a track meet with the Rams. You really don't.
No, you do not.
Like that shouldn't be the game plan. Like let's throw the ball here nonstop. But Andy Reid,
he can't help himself.
He can't help himself.
He's got
This
the
is
big
what I
menu.
have.
The man likes to eat. He's hungry. He wants to dial up some high-calorie plays.
Yeah, let me show the world that I can outsmart Sean McVay and my offense is better.
Well, we're around the time of year when Andy Reid starts gagging it back.
That's a good call. It's been 2 straight years now.
Yeah, like we're into week 11 now. And like we always too, Andy Reid coming out of the bye never loses, which is true.
Yeah.
So like he'll be fired up for like week 13, but
lose that game.
The switch hasn't been flipped on like Andy Reid being stupid yet.
It hasn't, and I'd be shocked if he saying all this, I'd be shocked if he gives up the playbook this year because he seems like, I give him some credit. I mean, he moved on from Alex Smith. He realized Smith is not the answer. And then they had a guy, Mahomes, who they traded up to get. That pick was the Bills, right? So they traded up to get him. And I mean, it looks like the right move right now. Mahomes is phenomenal. Goff is interesting too. I kind of tend to stay away from him in tournaments because he usually doesn't throw the ball as much and everything goes through Gurley. But when he gets into these track meets,
Yeah.
he's really good as well.
I
There's
agree.
against Minnesota, there was a back and forth game. Obviously, the one against the Saints, and then there was another one earlier on in the year. It may have been against the Rams or against the Seahawks, where he just, he threw the ball around 40 times and he ends up with over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. But not having Cooper Kupp there is actually a pretty, they are the Rams and they're good. It's actually a pretty big loss. Like, that's his guy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to just very quickly touch on some early spreads? I talked about that Eagles one. I like that. And I do want to let people know the odds and lines are subject to change.
Can't believe I
See
said the
websites
Giants were
for
favored.
actual odds, for updated odds. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So tonight I like the Chiefs. You like the Rams?
Yeah, I like the Rams. I jumped on the Chiefs when it was 3.5. I do feel like it's a field goal game, but
I just think the Chiefs win. I did this with stupid Tampa too. I didn't take the 3, and I bet the money line against the Giants.
Yeah.
Could have got my push.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be greedy. I wanted that plus 130. Now it's plus 150 for the Chiefs.
yeah.
So the Thursday games, very, very quickly. The Lions are 4-point dogs at home.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears. I like the Bears. I've liked them all year. Came on the show before the season started.
You did, yeah. I was not buying that. I thought they'd be that team that people hyped up that just weren't good.
Yeah. And you know what's... They don't have a starter on that team over 28 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even the kicker?
Not even
Rob, I think solid.
No, okay, maybe they
solid
didn't,
gold
they didn't
kicks
count
is like
the kicker.
70.
They didn't count, but I was watching that broadcast last night, and they said it was the first time since 1987 we're not a starter. They haven't had a starter over 28 in a game yet this year. It's a nice young core. And you look at Matt Nagy; he's a young buck as well.
You know what Chicago has benefited from this year outside of Allen Robinson? Being healthy.
Yeah, being healthy is key.
Like Mac's been a bit dinged up, but their defense was good anyway. That was such a privilege to get Khalil
man.
Mack, which is like, here's a luxury.
Yeah, exactly. It was just
So
an added
I'm
bonus.
curious to see where the money goes in that game. I could be intrigued. That could be intriguing because it's exactly the same spot the Lions were in this week against Carolina and covered that number.
Yeah, you bring up a good point.
Wa-
Carolina too. Like, man, they
don't know
lose those games that they should win, and
They're
then win the
dummies.
games that
They're a dummy team.
like come back on the Eagles, 21 unanswered points in the fourth, beat the Ravens pretty easily, and then fine Pittsburgh, whatever, they got outdueled. But yesterday was a game that you need to win if
on the
you're.
extended week too.
Yeah, there's no excuse to lose that game in Detroit last night.
Washington, Dallas in -7.5.
It's high for a division game. I know it's McCoy, but I tend to take the underdog in those division matchups. The same thing with Dallas when they came into Philly. I was completely on Dallas as the Eagles not winning that game by more than a touchdown.
I love the Eagles in that game.
I'm telling you, man, get off them immediately.
Saints 13 against Atlanta. We'll break all this down.
That's another.
The live show on Thursday.
Yeah.
We'll really dig into these games and the showdown slates for them.
Yeah,
But that's a lot of points.
it's a lot of points.
But they have covered every game since week 2.
I know they're just so damn
Or
good.
since week 3. They failed. They beat the Falcons in week 3. I think that play at the end of that game was a turning point for both these teams.
Yeah,
Breeze had that stupid 7-yard run where he should have been tackled and then didn't get tackled somehow.
that was the overtime game, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he rushed it
Yeah,
in from
he
7
rushed it
yards to
in.
go to overtime. Then he snuck it in overtime. Like,
That's right.
Atlanta wins
That's
that
right.
game. They went into a tailspin directly after that, and the Saints have rolled ever since.
Yeah, I typically I would lean Atlanta there. I know how good the Saints are, but again, those division
game.
games,
59 is the
that's-
point total.
Yeah, that's a lot of points. These two teams play each other tight all the time, no matter what, no matter where they are in the standings.
Some big spreads this week. What do you think the Jets, how many points are they getting at home against the Patriots?
Oh man, they got to be at least 8-point dogs.
9-point dogs.
9.
We don't know who's starting at quarterback for them. I assume it's Darnold, or it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Patriots coming off a loss and a bye.
They've been bad on the road, though.
They have been bad, and Brady he's been pretty mediocre. And everyone's just he's 41 years old. Like, I know how old he is.
Shock at. No one really talks about Brady. We don't know what his age is.
Yeah. But throwing some picks lately. But I mean, another week for Sony Michel. Burkhead's gonna be back
Vikings,
soon, too.
4-point favorite Sunday night against Packers.
And in Minnesota, obviously, a tough place for Rodgers to go and play.
But indoors.
indoors.
That helps.
It does help. Yeah, I saw that look on Rodgers' face too when McCarthy rolled that defense out with 4.5 minutes left, and they were 4th and 3.
He should just
Game was over.
He should just stunner Mike McCarthy and then like take over head coach.
Do you think
Call himself head coach. Wear the belt. Call himself head coach. Boom. We go for everything. We never punt.
it took him so long to turn over to Aaron Jones? So long at
Mike McCarthy. It's not even might be a bad coach. Is a bad coach.
and
He got so much credit for Aaron Rodgers putting this team on his back to win a Super Bowl, to win 5 straight games to make the playoffs. Like when you have the best quarterback potentially ever, or at least a top 10 guy ever,
you know,
it's gonna make you look good.
And I wonder, you know, obviously the play calling is out to lunch, and I was looking at Rodgers, like, I wonder why I'm not seeing him change some plays at the line often. So I kind of want to put some of the blame on him. But yeah, McCarthy's 100% gone because I don't think this Packers team is going to make playoffs. I don't think that they win this game in Minnesota. They could cover the 4.5, a field goal game, absolutely division matchup, but he's never been, he has not been good in Minnesota over the course of his career, and he's been knocked out numerous times against them.
Yeah, concussions. Detroit too. Detroit just weird games with them. Where he always suffers concussions.
And earlier in the year against the Bears when he suffered the knee injury.
These teams know him too well.
Vicious defense.
Too well.
Yeah.
Teams know. Here's what we do. Hit Aaron Rodgers when he's not looking.
Yeah, and we have a good chance to win the game.
All right, so I'm going to say goodbye to the audio listeners. You can follow Chris Meaney at Chris Meaney. Check him out on The Athletic and check him out on fantrax.com. He will be back with me live in studio 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Thursday morning. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We'll all be here. We'll go down and get the fresh updates for the game. We'll have all the inactives, at least for the Lions and Bears game, to kick it off, but we'll preview all 3, and we'll have a full Thanksgiving DraftKings breakdown with Davis Maddock coming tomorrow, so check that out. Peace out, audio listeners. Time for some.
Josh Allen on track to start.
To start?
Yeah.
Perfect. We got some viewer questions to get to.
Ah, nice.
This guy asked, what happened to Ebron yesterday?
What should have happened to Ebron all year? Really?
You play 20% of the snaps. Sometimes all you get is 1 passing attempt.
Yeah, so one of my buddies who doesn't know a lot about football, but he plays DraftKings all the time. So he's putting together some of his lineups, and he sent me them yesterday, and he said, you know, he had Ebron in 2 of his 4. And I said, you probably should. And I was telling him, like, you know, he's got like a handful of targets, and Doyle's out snapping him double and getting double the looks, and the Titans haven't allowed a touchdown to a tight end all year. You should probably get Ebron, but he's got 9 touchdowns. It's like, fine, when you don't look at the numbers deep and you just see touchdowns and you see the cesspool the tight end position is, I understand like wanting to roll out Ebron. I get it, but it's time to get off Ebron.
If you have nothing
In a standard format in a 14-team league, continue to roll him out there.
Yeah. Like when I do up my rankings, like let's say assume no teams were on bye, I assume he comes in at like tight end 12, 13. Yeah, because he has 3 touchdown upside.
But
this is the other end of that coin.
And he still is top 5 in red zone targets, so there's something to be said about that.
I'm last. So if you have questions, dump them into the chat right now. If not, we'll take off. Remember to smash that like button as well. If you want to get in the draw for $20 DK. What was it? Who's going to hit the like button? And in the comment section, not the chat, the comment section, let me know which AFC team you think is going to get the 6th seed.
It's a good question. I'm actually back and forth on that. I don't like the Titans anymore.
You know, you're off Titans. It's been an hour. You hate the Titans now?
I hate the Titans.
Preparing for the playoffs, would you trade Hunt for Christian McCaffrey and Josh Gordon? I think I would.
Yeah, I mean, it depends obviously on your wideouts, but if you need some help at the wide receiver position, you're getting a good solid 2 for Hunt. Yeah. And there's also that fear we've talked about before, week 16, man. There's this fear. Who's Kansas City playing? Seattle? Division wrapped up there in Seattle. How much play does Kareem Hunt get in week 16?
I don't know. Maybe another reason to have Spencer Ware.
Exactly.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson or Rivers this week? I haven't done my rankings yet. Oh, you're breaking the rules of the chat. You don't want to get banned.
Yeah.
Start sits are for the actual start sit shows.
Yeah.
These are waiver questions.
I think you still roll out Rivers. He was fine yesterday. 20 some odd points.
Who would you play at captain tonight? I think I've talked myself into Kareem Hunt now. Way to beat the Rams. If I think the Chiefs are going to win, I think running the ball is the path to success there.
I think that's pretty smart. I think you've talked me into that as well. You don't want to get into a track meet.
Would you drop Chris Thompson for Gus Edwards?
Yeah. What's the point of hanging on to Chris Thompson anymore?
I get hanging on to him because when he comes back, like he'll do stuff sometimes. But Gus Edwards, maybe. I don't know if I don't want to say Gus Edwards is going to be like a league winner. But he has that late season trajectory and the right matchups that if they do make him the guy, He could be a very viable pickup.
Yeah.
That's why he's number 1 in the rankings.
Yeah, and if you need somebody this week, like Chris Thompson's probably not going to play on Thursday night. He hasn't been able to practice. He's dealing with multiple injuries. I think it's ribs mostly, but that's not good for a running back. I mean, getting smacked like that. And you know what? He hasn't really done anything all year when he's played anyways.
Rest of the season, David Johnson, Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, or Matt Breida. Read me out Arizona's playoff schedule.
They're probably one of the. Oh yeah, I wrote them down. It's definitely probably Chubb for me.
Really over Mixon?
Yeah.
Now with this new split,
where is Arizona? Come on.
Arizona.
Oh yeah, Detroit, Atlanta,
And
LA.
the Rams?
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's
But
really
Cleveland has. So Cleveland this week, it's. Well, you can bring up this week, but Cleveland got Carolina.
Cincy this week.
Cincy this week, which is a great matchup. Chubb has at least 18 carries in 4 straight games. He's the red zone option. He's always top 10 in touches every week. I do the touches.
Carolina,
and
Denver, Cincy in the playoffs.
Yeah, those are great matchups. Those are phenomenal ones for running
I
backs.
still think I like. Who was it? David Johnson. Is that one of them? I like David Johnson.
Okay, yeah, sorry, David Johnson. I do like Chubb over Mixon.
Let's see what the Bengals are up to here.
They got Chargers, Oakland, Cleveland. Like that's not bad
That's
too.
pretty good. I think I'd still think I'd rather have Mixon just because he gets involved in the passing game.
It's really close. Like all those guys are.
Matt Breida is definitely
low end
last.
ones. Yeah,
but
Breida is
not,
last.
Not substantially.
No, not at all. They got a decent. Like Denver is a good Week 14 matchup too for Breida. He's catching some balls at the backfield.
His best matchup is this week.
Yeah,
against Tampa.
Oh yeah, that's a good one for him. He's coming off the big game against the Giants too.
Ben asks, my league still has trades going until the 26th. Shitty league, but awesome. Was offered Marlon Mack for Sony Michel. Burkhead going to come back and eat into his split.
Yeah.
He had the week to recover, so I'm not worried about his injury anymore. And I think that Burkhead hurts James White more than he hurts Sony Michel.
Yeah.
I think he takes away from both of them, but I think he really takes away from James White if they choose to play him. Mm-hmm. I like Mac, man.
I like Mac too. I like the offensive line. And I know Jordan Wilkins ended up with like 9 or 10 points last night, and Hines is still kind of hanging around. But yeah, he got the touchdown. As I was going to say is that Mac he's definitely the guy. It's like it looks to me like a 70-30.
Here's a problem.
The schedule?
Fantasy playoffs. Houston, Dallas, Giants. Great week 16. Houston, Dallas, 2 of the best run defenses in the league.
Houston's a really tough defense.
And Mac doesn't really get involved in the passing game.
No, he doesn't. He had a couple games but like I said, yeah, Wilkins and maybe you just
the Patriots,
because Miami is a really nice matchup.
Patriots go Miami, Pittsburgh, Buffalo.
Yeah, you
want
to
Sony Michel.
Keep Michel. Miami is a terrific matchup, and then Buffalo, you feel like he falls in the end zone a couple times.
I don't like carrying 2 tight ends. Is Trey Burton droppable? I guess that depends on who your other tight end is.
It's got to be better than Burton. There's only a few options that are better than Burton, even though
who's not even that good.
Yeah, who's really hasn't been all that great.
Is Doug Baldwin back?
I think it was pretty encouraging to see 10 targets from him. What do you have? 7 grabs, had a touchdown. He was
dealing with a sprained MCL and PCL and all this nonsense. They never told us that.
Wow, yeah.
They were just like, yeah, he kind of hurt his knee.
Yeah, and it was the other knee too, right?
Yeah.
So he's got the 2 bum knees.
Yeah, so apparently he's healthy now.
Yeah, and he should have had 2 touchdowns. He's definitely Wilson overthrew him. I think he's back. This is the time of the year where he
would you drop
good matchups too for
Marquez, Valdez, Scantling? No,
I wouldn't.
No,
this question a lot. Like you don't drop them. It was just that was a matchup where you could just exploit with Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
it was
I thought MVS would still have a good game, but
yeah, me too.
But then you lose Jimmy Graham. Like there's more targets to go around.
Randall Cobb is out. He hasn't done anything anyways. Geronimo Allison's gone for the year.
Who are you dropping him for? Are you gonna drop him for DJ Moore, who's gonna do the exact same thing?
Yeah, exactly. There's more upside in MVS in that offense.
I agree because they're just gonna be passing so much more. Yeah. Landry, Tate, keep or trade. I could get Keenan Allen for both.
Oh, yeah.
Keenan Allen, what are you doing?
You go ahead and you make that move.
Yeah, get Keenan Allen.
That's a significant upgrade.
Drop John Brown for DJ Moore. This is interesting because John Brown's useless with Lamar Jackson.
I'd make that move.
Yeah, I think I would too. And I love John Brown.
Me too. I like him too.
That's kind of killing some of my teams is that John Brown's been so good for me.
Yeah, I know. I played Lamar yesterday and I sprinkled in a little bit of Brown as someone who can extend plays, move around. Brown is a deep threat. If you're extending, you're moving around, maybe you can take some shots down the field, but you can't take anything positive away from the pass catchers from yesterday. It was Snead who had all the work, and then I think Nick Boyle. But
Jordan Reed or Trey Burton. Rest of the season.
I think I'd go Reed.
With Colt McCoy?
Yeah.
3 Ravens receivers are on waivers. Would you stash any of them? The answer would be no. John Brown would be the one
Yeah,
I would stash.
Brown's the one
if
I
you-
like the
if you
most.
have to, because you're
Yeah.
playing a must-own a Ravens receiver league. But
Yeah, those leagues sound awful.
yeah, they're not great. Would you rather pick up A. Miller or Sutton? I suggest, sir, you check out the Waiver Wire Pickup Power Rankings,
Yes.
where they have the numbers next to their name in order of the order I would pick them
He's
up.
done
in.
all the work for you guys.
Yeah, I know.
You just have to look at the
Yeah,
board.
I need them clicks. Wentz looked like a steaming poo on my team. He did that to me too. I have to sweat the Monday Nighter. My opponent has Woods and Kelsey, half-point PPR. I don't fucking care. It's going to happen either way, regardless of what I say.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it.
Are you worried about MVS? No, I'm not too worried. John Brown droppable to stash Denver DST?
Yeah.
If you don't need Brown, yes.
That's a move looking ahead. I like that move.
Pat Mayo, in your opinion, do you think the Saints will stop using Kamara more and go to he who should not be named to save Kamara for the playoffs? No ban, please, because he did not say the name. No ban for him. Very savvy. I don't know.
That's a
It's
a
in
great
play.
question. I like that. Well done with the wording. You know, it definitely is in play. I think the answer is yes.
Really?
I think that they do play Satan a little bit more.
That's going to just, I mean, you saw what happened to them last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Why? Mark Ingram was on that team. That's what happens when you get the bad luck and just
Yeah. I mean,
the
this
soul-sucking ability of Mark Ingram.
This team is just so damn good. I mean, they're throwing balls in the end zone to Tyson Hill.
Have
I mean,
the Saints peak too early?
I
Can they sustain this for 3 more months?
So I said this morning on the show with Pizza Pia. I said the same thing. I said I'd like to see them face some adversity down the stretch. I mean, that one game against the Rams, sure. I mean, but at that point, it's already going to be in 7-8 weeks.
We're just 8 weeks
gone.
removed from them getting smoked by Tampa and almost losing to Cleveland.
I know. But you're right. They peaked. It doesn't matter. They're not going to get any worse.
Is Mark Ingram a running back one? Banned for life! Go fuck yourself.
It's a guy who's never watched the show before.
Yeah,
or
you don't know
followed
the rules of the chat.
or followed your work. Yeah, no, the answer is no there. But again,
Banned for life.
I do like I was looking at their schedule and they're just gonna it's more cakewalks for them. Like they're just gonna cruise. They got the Thursday night game. Let's have back-to-back Thursday night games actually. So they'll play Dallas week 13. And then they got Tampa Bay. Like, tell me that they're gonna waste their time with Kamara against the Bucks.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's
Bucks
just
play
give the ball to this guy who we're not gonna sign.
the Bucks competitive game. Bucks play Saints tough.
Maybe, but
Pick up Sutton or Miller. You just asked that question, which means banned for life.
and then Carolina Monday. That could be a Kamara one. And then Pittsburgh. You know, you're gonna want Kamara involved. That's the game, right? That's the game. Week 16. Even though you're already locked up. You already got into the playoffs. You probably already have a bye. But let's see what you have here in a matchup against the Steelers in a competitive game.
Richard or Kenyon Drake rest of the season? Half PPR.
I think I still lean Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, you probably in half. You probably have to lean Drake.
Yeah.
Gordon and Chubb. Gordon for Chubb and Mac have Michelle Coleman and Melvin Gordon currently.
So you can trade Melvin Gordon for Mac and Chubb. That's not a bad deal.
I wouldn't do it. Gordon's like the 3rd best running back. But you're giving up an elite player, and you don't need the running backs. You have Michelle and Coleman; they're fine.
Yeah.
Like is
yeah.
Mac a substantial upgrade over
I
Tony
would-
Michelle? No.
Yeah,
we
I
just said we'd like Michelle more.
I'd Chubb and a wideout. I get behind that.
Yeah, if it's someone other than
Yeah.
Mac,
Yeah.
because you don't need the 2 running backs.
Right.
So yeah,
One of them is just going to sit on your bench.
Yeah. Do you think James White will be obsolete?
Yeah. Yes.
The answer is no.
All right. I'll side with
think.
you.
Trade Carry-On and Ebron for Sanders. No.
Yeah. It's I'm not crazy with Sanders.
Philip Lindsay, Rookie of the Year over Saquon? Is Saquon still... I mean, if Baker goes like 3 good games at the end of the year, he's going to win Rookie of the Year. Anytime they can give it to a quarterback, they will.
Yeah,
no matter how well Saquon
You're
plays.
right. They usually.
But no, Saquon's the rookie.
Yeah. I think he leads all backs in targets and catches. He's at a few 100-yard games.
What do you do with Crabtree? If you have the room to hold him, hold him. If not, drop him.
Yeah. I mean, you cut him for the 3 or 4 guys at the top of your rankings.
Smart to trade Kareem Hunt. If I have Spencer Ware, playoffs are 15-17. I'd be going after Christian McCaffrey and a wide receiver too. It depends on who that wide receiver 2 is, but yeah, because I like McCaffrey.
Wow, 15-17 because Kareem Hunt is not going to play week 17. You can book that.
And he already has Ware.
Yeah.
So you get one of the games. And, like, I don't know how big the difference between McCaffrey and Hunt's going to be the rest of the season. We've already talked about how great McCaffrey's schedule is.
Yeah. And McCaffrey has a better chance of playing week 17, especially after that loss. You got to feel like they're playing for something week 17. And they just don't even have anybody to put in anyways for McCaffrey.
I feel like I need to get
Anderson.
I feel like I need to get a band for life graphic with some sort of a band for life.
A little too.
Your band.
Yeah, that's better.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk to my voiceover guy.
Yeah.
See what he has to say. Sutton or MVS rest of the season, I'd still take Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Can I play both Kiki and DeAndre Hopkins? If they are your 2 best receivers, you can play them both. No big deal.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson or Lamar Jackson next week? No next week questions. Feel like banning this person for life? I'll give them a pass.
Let him slide.
No,
Just
no
smash
start
that.
sits on a Monday.
Smash
it's
the like
fucking
button.
Monday.
I know. People get excited. They get the 3 games on Thursday. You got to dive into the week
I'm
a little bit earlier.
You think I've done rankings yet?
No,
Please.
there's no chance. I've hardly looked at the schedule. I've looked at week 14, 15, and 16 before
More than you looked at this week? Yeah. it's a waiver show. We're talking about pickups.
Yeah.
Let's see. Should I ride Ryan into the playoffs as my only quarterback? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's fine.
Tyler Boyd or Doug Baldwin the rest of the season? Baldwin's starting to look better. I wouldn't give up on Boyd. Boyd still had 71 yards yesterday. Green coming back.
Yeah.
Still Boyd.
Yeah, it's still Boyd, but grab Baldwin.
Is Sutton still worth a bench stash? Currently I have Boyd, Hilton, Diggs on my team standard. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to have some
Who
depth.
are you dropping?
Yeah, I wouldn't drop him for any of some of the guys that we talked about off the top of the show.
Drop Marvin Jones for Kiki? No. If Marvin Jones is like ruled out for like weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah,
I'd
wait
still
it
rather
out.
have Marv.
We'll probably hear something on Marv before the waiver period. We'll probably hear something today or tomorrow with that game being on Thursday.
All right. Remember, people, smash the like button if you're out there. 65 likes. What is this nonsense?
Come on, give us some likes.
Yeah, we need to. We can't even do the show anymore, basically. If we don't get at least like 200 likes, there's like 400 people watching. Just hit the like button. Go nuts.
It's not that hard, yeah.
Yeah, if we don't get to a certain like threshold, we can't do the live shows anymore.
All right, so come on, people.
Safe to drop Drake or Freeman?
Well,
Safer to drop Drake or Freeman.
Okay, yeah.
I would drop Freeman before Drake.
Yeah.
Freeman played, 20% of the snaps
Yeah,
yesterday?
and he found the end zone at the end. Was
And that's
just
it.
lucky.
That's all he did.
Yeah, and Booker's still around, so yeah, I would keep Drake.
Use number 1 waiver claim on Traquan Smith or Gus Edwards. I'd probably use it on Edwards.
Yeah, I mean, running back depth is nicer to have, and especially if you're in a tough spot.
And we talked about how this Traquan thing may not be super sustainable.
It was just a really good matchup for him.
He and DJ Moore, I'm going to say it again, are going to be those guys that you're not going to know when to start them.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have weird weeks when they have big games and then do nothing in great matchups.
Everyone's gonna be in on him this week.
Of course.
They're
Like,
disappointed.
both of them are huge fades on DraftKings this week.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Trade Cohen and Valdez-Scantling for Phillip Lindsay. Half-point PPR. No. I still like Cohen.
Yeah, Cohen's still getting majority of the work. I know the snaps favored Howard, but
They use him when he's on the field.
yeah. They use a lot in just one. They line up 3 wideouts on the side, and they say, "All right, you want to go one-on-one with Cohen? Cohen's gonna win that matchup."
Where do we go? I had it bookmarked, but now it's all... Oh, there we are. Some guys had some ludicrous question. It skipped the chat on me. Trade Mac, Boyd, and MVS for Hunt. Stacked at
Boyd,
running back and wide
MVS.
receiver. Don't use any of those 3, then yeah.
Oh well, yeah. If you
Then
don't
yeah,
use
go for
them,
it.
for sure.
Trade Kamara for Christian McCaffrey. He's talked about...
I don't think I'd do that.
I think I would. I think you can get more for Kamara, though.
I think you could. I think that's
See if you-
why I said no.
See if you can get Nat in, but I think I would do that straight
you
up
get
rest of the season.
A depth bench wide receiver 4 or something. I think you could get something else. Just another small. Maybe it's just a defense that you like.
This guy asks, is Gus Edwards worth picking up? Why don't you hit the fucking power rankings, pal? Give your head a fucking shake. Do you think
Do a
Dave-
waiver wire show. You're not mentioning him at all.
Yeah. Do you think David Njoku will get more targets with the change of coaches? I mean, they've already changed their coach. His bad hair dye job. Njoku, is like all these other.
Yeah,
tight ends.
he's like them all. I mean, we finally saw one bad game from Zach Ertz. It's Ertz and Kelsey and everybody else.
Ebron or Burton rest of the season? Take Burton.
Yeah, I'd take Burton too.
Is San Fran defense good option this week at Tampa? It's not the worst option.
No, it's
You should be able to find better options,
Yeah.
which again, are listed in the column.
In order.
In sequential order. It's not like, I mean, sometimes I do like memento style rankings where
Yeah.
like 7 comes first,
Yeah.
then it's like 2, then 17, then 5. Not even this week. 1 through 8 best pickups that are available at defense. Trade Kamara and Alshon for DJ and Keenan.
Oh, wow.
Maybe?
Yeah, that's not bad. I understand what people are getting a little bit worried about Kamara right now, and it's probably a bad time to trade him after it was like an Ingram game, even though he was fine. That's a move I could get behind.
Yeah.
There
It
is
seems
some
very
risk.
lateral,
Yeah,
is the one thing.
How are you really benefiting from it?
You benefit if
Keenan-
Kamara
you do
gets shut
Keenan is-
down at some point, and DJ's not getting shut down.
DJ's not going to get shut down in Keenan, right? You're getting Keenan over Jeffrey. Keenan's an
Which is
upgrade
way
over
better, yeah.
Jeffrey. So
You could do it.
yeah.
Lamar Jackson or Baker Mayfield rest of the season, assuming Lamar starts the rest of the season. Well, you can't just assume that.
Yeah. I think I'd go Baker.
I think I'd go Baker too.
Yeah.
Good morning, gentlemen. I have Gurley, Cook, Adams, Michael Thomas, Galladay, Landry, Tate, MVS, Sutton. Should I make a trade to improve wide receiver or stick it out? Well, if you can improve wide receiver, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I
Trade
think-
Josh Adams. People are like real gung-ho, jizzing their pants about Josh Adams. Just trade him for like DeAndre Hopkins.
and Kiki.
Yeah, this guy says you look like Pau Gasol.
Oh, nice. Pow. Well, seasoned vet.
Dr. Pau.
I like it.
If you have a fantasy show answering question, leave your biases at home. Banned for life. You know what the great thing about having your own fantasy show is? Doing whatever the fuck you want.
You can ban anybody.
Yeah,
do
ban
whatever
anyone
you
I want.
Talk about whoever you want.
On the next spread show, can you clarify teasing it up and down, please? You're just better off Googling that, just reading about it. We don't have time to do that. I have Mahomes on bye. Don't want to spend fab on Baker because of the Yahoo trick. Do you do that or spend fab on Jameis, Dak, or Mullins? I'd probably just spend the fab on Jameis.
Yeah. I don't want to spend anything on Mullins.
Yeah, you probably just pick up Mullins after
Yeah.
waivers.
Yeah.
Should I drop Burton? I have Doyle. Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I would first, if you can't trade anyone if that deadline's passed, I'd kind of look around at my league mates first.
This guy says Baker
the
Mayfield.
Kelsey owner, right?
Baker Mayfield lit up Atlanta Falcons, beating them 28-16. It's like retroactive sports center.
Yeah. And
Thanks.
listen, Chubb was a big part of that game at the longest run of the season, so it wasn't all Baker.
Donta Foreman worth stashing in a deeper league.
Yeah, if you're in a really good spot too.
Yeah, or like super desperate at running
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Let's see. Drop fits for Winston? Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Which two should I grab for my team? Murray Cooper, Valdez Scantling, DJ Moore, or Traquan? Cooper and MBS.
Yeah, I like Cooper.
With the strong showing from Jacksonville, would you ride them into the playoffs? No, man. They own Pittsburgh.
They just own Pittsburgh, yeah. Big Ben, 8 interceptions in his last 3 games against them? They just do well against the Steelers.
If O.J. Howard is out, would you drop Doyle to pick up Brate? I would not.
No.
it's like
I
a
would
1 week
just,
fill.
just roll out Doyle.
In a 1 QB league, drop Wilson for Trubisky the rest of the season. Who does I worry about Trubisky in December when it's super cold, although he did fine last night. Who does Seattle have in the fantasy playoffs?
Seattle has Minnesota, San Fran, and Kansas City.
Keep Wilson.
Yeah. And Chicago has the Rams, Packers, and 49ers.
Should I ride Russell Wilson in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yes, you should.
This is the time of the year, man. Russell Wilson. We've seen it now 3 years in a row, I think.
Should I trade AP for Dalvin Cook, full point PPR? Yes,
Yeah.
I would.
Absolutely.
Great buy low opportunity on Dalvin Cook if that's
For sure.
still available to anyone out there.
Tough matchup for him last week. Who they got in the playoffs? Minnesota, Seattle, Miami, Detroit. Baby.
There we go. What did he play? He played like 88% of the snaps. He just didn't get the ball because they refused to throw the screen passes for whatever reason.
Yeah, 88%.
Yeah, 88%. Murray 9, Abdullah 1. Forgot Abdullah was on the team.
Also forgot that.
Should Corey Davis and Devin Funchess be dropped? Corey Davis be dropped. Last week it was, should I spend all my fab money on Corey Davis? Now should I drop Corey Davis?
I just spent $80 on Corey Davis. Now I'm cutting him for Traquan Smith for 1 week. No, Corey Davis.
Funchess
no.
I could see.
Funchess I would drop. I could drop. I said it last week.
But it all depends for who. Who are you dropping him for?
Yeah, you're
Are you
right.
dropping him
You want
for
some depth.
Marcel Aitman? Probably not.
No, probably not. But it has been 4 brutal games in a row for Funchess. He's very touchdown dependent. I can understand moving on for him. But you're right. Who are you dropping him for? You know, maybe a lot of people were dropping MVS. Like, that's a swap. I would make that swap. I'd rather him than Funchess.
Would you trade Kamara for Cooks and Fitzgerald? No.
Yeah, no.
No. Rest of the season, ride Doyle or grab Uzama. Ride Doyle. Why is everyone like freaked about Doyle?
What's going on? Ebron finally added 0, and everyone doesn't want Doyle anymore.
Oh, Ben says, want to say thank you for all you guys do. My wife and I playing season long for the first time ever, using you for research. That's probably a big mistake.
Hey, he's coming back.
She is first. I am second.
Wow,
Man, imagine the people they're playing against. Thank you, Ben, for tuning in. I appreciate that. McCoy or Jordan Howard rest of the season?
Oh, wow.
Jordan Howard's so bad.
I didn't write Buffalo down. But yeah, Jordan Howard, the Rams, Green Bay, and San Fran.
That's not bad, actually.
Those aren't bad
The Bills
schedules.
go Jets, Detroit, New England. I'd roll it with Shady.
Yeah, and Shady coming off a pretty solid game. And you know what? Getting Allen back does help. Or, getting Allen back will help. Shady was decent in a couple spots with Allen. He's more capable, I suppose.
I have gone the entire show without saying my favorite word, triggered. That's because Cust isn't on. Or Jake. Jake also loves being triggered.
Jake's always triggered, man.
Traquan Smith is available. Would you take him over MBS? No.
No, yeah, I wouldn't either.
Setting her MBS week 12. That's a start sit question, which means ban for life. I have the Titans and Cardinals D. Drop Cardinals D for Heerman or Cook. I have OJ Howard. Want a safety net. Who do the Cardinals have this week?
The Cardinals this week.
The Cardinals have the Chargers. And who was the other one? The Titans.
And then down the stretch, the Titans have
Houston.
Houston. It's not the
I don't
best,
like-
and
I
we
don't
don't
like-
even know
I don't
who
like
the
either of those
quarterback
matchups.
is.
You can drop both of them. Pick up a defense and pick up Heerman.
Yeah,
Never pick up Jared Cook.
and for Hireman, Pittsburgh, pretty good matchup, right? They've allowed a lot of fantasy points to tight ends. It's not bad. Case Keenum can't throw the ball to anybody.
When will you ban someone? When you ban someone, you should drop the Androcus. Ban them so others will learn. Tim is all about banning people. He would ban everyone if it was up to him. Vance McDonald, or Trey Burton rest of the season?
You know what? It may be Vance, but I know Trey Burton has been pretty disappointing, but I think he has a higher ceiling. I think Trey Burton has a higher ceiling.
Okay. This guy won't see me dress up as Pee Wee Herman for Halloween next year. I basically dress up as Pee Wee Herman every day. It's my shtick. Can you release Ban for Life T-shirts? We need that.
Oh, that's not bad.
There we go.
There's an idea. That's a successful
That will not
comment.
get you banned for life.
No, you may even get a T for that.
Let's see. Let's do a few more here because the likes never came in.
Come on, people with the likes. Trying to help you out here.
Yeah. Will this be Dirk Cutter's last season in Tampa? I don't care.
Absolutely.
Who do you think I can get by trading Jordan Howard and Matt Breda? No idea. Todd Gurley. Start there. And
You're not going to get anything for Jordan Howard. Just put it that way.
Just start at the top and work down.
Yeah, you're not. And Breda's, he had just coming off the bye. People probably forgot about the game against the Giants. You're not getting anything for him.
Is it worth dropping John Brown for one of the big handcuffs? If you're not using him, yes.
Yeah.
Grab Spencer Ware.
Yeah.
We already have Ware as I own Hunt. Yeah, go grab Malcolm Brown or Chase Edmonds or Gio or something like that. Yeah. Wade says, love you, Pat. Listening from Thailand.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Thailand seems awesome, by the way.
The Pat Mayo experience. Very big in Thailand.
It's so huge.
People say it's the biggest. It's what I've heard. So thank you, Wade. I don't know what time it is over there. I'm assuming it's very, very late at night, or it would be. Maybe it's like mid-afternoon.
It's probably.
I think it's like 12 hours difference. It'd be like 11 at night.
Yeah. I love that.
Ride Tariq Cohen into playoffs as flex play. Well, Luke, I don't know who the fuck you have on your team. So if it's over no one, then I would say play Tariq Cohen.
Yeah. I mean,
Get it together.
Yeah, you have to give us a little bit of context with these questions, but yeah, if you've been playing Tariq Cohen,
don't elaborate on that. It's a stupid fucking question. Either play no one or play Tariq Cohen. I'll play Tariq Cohen. Question answered.
I'll play no one.
Is it okay? Philly's defense okay to keep for the season?
No, are you kidding me? Have you watched them play football lately? They suck defensively. Let's be real here. I said that the Giants should be favored in Philadelphia at the Link this week because of how bad their defense is.
I feel like that's your homerism getting the better of you.
Holy crap. No,
don't use their defense.
Man. You cannot, absolutely not.
Keenan Allen and either DJ Moore or Josh Reynolds for Julio Jones or Michael Thomas. I was going to offer two different guys in my league. Yeah?
Keenan Allen and who?
Keenan Allen and either DJ Moore or Josh Reynolds.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I would
Those
do
guys are nothing.
Allen and Reynolds for Julio.
Yeah.
I would want Julio more than Michael Thomas.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I hate having week 15 to 17 playoffs. Yeah, it's because you play in a stupid league. Pal.
That sucks.
I have Kittle and Doyle. Should I drop Doyle? Yes, of course.
Can you imagine you got to the playoffs and you cruised all year because of Gurley and Hunt, and those guys are
these guys
not
sit in
going
week
to touch
17.
your lineup?
Stupid.
My goodness.
You wait for what I have in store for the Week 17 rank. Doyle or Njoku rest of the season? Njoku.
Yes, agreed. Joku.
Is Winston worth a roster spot with the Bucks drama? I don't know what the Bucks drama is, but yeah. Winston's a good fantasy quarterback.
Yeah.
Until he's not, and then you drop him.
And he's the perfect replacement if you have Goff or Mahomes next week. Yes.
Or you're just like us and have shitty quarterbacks.
Yep.
Emmanuel Sanders or Christian Kirk Week 12. Banned for life.
Kirk, nice game.
Smash the like button or get banned for life. Ooh, I like that one. I like where Rocksteady Beach is coming from.
It's a good name.
Stream and D. Should I pick up Ravens versus Oakland or Jags versus Bills? I like Ravens versus Oakland.
Yeah, me too. Those are both really good matchups. But yeah, I'll lean Ravens.
Because Oakland might score, the Ravens might score, and Oakland might score. So like they'll both have to pass sometimes. I know Baltimore's not big on passing these days. The Bills really don't want us. All the Jags want to do is run for one thing. That's all the Bills want to do too.
Exactly.
Tyrell Williams or Sammy Watkins rest of the season? Probably still take Watkins.
Yeah, same.
Hurt, bye week, should be fine coming back. He's not getting benched.
No, they're doing it the right way. They're sitting him out. You know, we've seen this before. These guys want to play these revenge games. Didn't Shady want to play that revenge game once and suffered that setback, and then you missed all those games?
Can Njoku be trusted rest of the season? I have Ebron. I'd just rather have Njoku.
Yeah, I mean, at least Njoku's on the field more. That's what you have to look at. He's on the field like 90% of the time. He's getting targets. The same can be said for Ebron.
Oh, Francisco was listening from Colombia.
Holy crap.
Hello in Colombia, my friend. Yeah, there's listeners from all around the world. Pat Mayo and Chris Meaney, big in Colombia.
Almost 10 million downloads.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
People subscribe to the audio podcast. Get us to 10 million downloads for the year. This guy says the commish that has the Week 17 playoffs should be banned for life. I agree.
He'd definitely banned for life and lose his job as the commish.
I smashed the like button. Will my 500 mediocre team be better now? In fact, it'll be incredibly worse.
Now we got to give you
All
some
your good
advice.
players will be banned for life. Sell high on Aaron Jones or trust?
I think trust.
What do you sell him for?
Yeah, I think trust.
Like if you can get, let's say, Todd Gurley, I would trade him for Todd Gurley.
That's a
I
fair-
would do that trade, Chris Meaney.
I do it as well.
It depends on who it is.
Yeah,
right?
you're not getting any of those top 10 backs. You're
Why
not
not?
getting any of them for.
Well, I
Aaron
mean, he
Jones.
says she should sell high. That would be selling high, getting one of these top 10 backs.
it's not going to happen.
Rank these three rest of the season: Chubb, Jones, Mack. I'd go Chubb, Jones, Mack.
Yep, that's exactly
That's the right order.
Yep.
Well, let's round this out here. Which defense should I be picking up for waivers? I have Redskins. Just go look at the power rankings, man.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy listening to the pod. Makes my work day. Thanks,
Nice.
Matt.
It's good to hear those.
That's what we're here for. We're here to kill time.
Yeah, we're trying
Have
to
some
just help
laughs.
out on a Monday morning.
And this guy says, why are you asking kicker questions? Do you want to get banned for life? He has a very valid point. I'm not answering any stupid kicker questions.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson or Tom Brady rest of the season? I think I'd want Wilson.
Me too. Absolutely. Brady's finished well outside the top 12 numerous times this season.
Let's see. Is being banned for life a rite of passage? It could be. Yeah. People, here's the thing. People aren't really banned for life. They're just banned till the end of the show. And you'll be back.
And it really bothers some people. They think
Good.
they're banned
It should.
for life.
You know what? If you're that triggered by it, now I can start using triggered again. Then it was well worth it because people love ban. I get so much reaction. People love banned for life. It's not going anywhere.
I can't believe you banned me for life. I was just asking a question. You weren't actually asking a question. You were just like, this is my team. Is it any good? Like, come on. It's not really a question.
Yeah, and listen, it's a show with terrible advice. Getting banned for life is probably the best thing that could ever happen to you. And again, not even worried about Evan Ingram. Were people like real gung-ho on Evan Ingram?
I mean, that was a decent matchup. He hasn't done a whole lot lately.
Oh, you want to hear a terrible idea?
Yeah.
This guy asked, bold call, but should I drop Dalvin Cook for Christian Kirk?
Oh my goodness. Ban him for life.
No, I want to send him an invite to my league. That's a great idea if you're playing with me. In reality, no. Terrible idea.
Yeah, let's just be patient with Dalvin Cook. We just mentioned the schedule. I'm pretty sure we Seattle, Miami, Detroit, 2 of those games. I mean, Dalvin Cook may win you a championship.
T.Y. Hilton has a ridiculous schedule going forward. Concerned or not so much? I'm not super concerned. He's a wide receiver too. It's a high-end wide receiver too.
Yeah.
Don't treat him like he's a top 5 guy in the league.
Right. He's
Which
not
I
that
know that people will want to do after yesterday.
Yeah.
Just calm down a little bit. Calm
good.
down.
Luck's been fine. He's been matchup proof, really.
Doyle or Reed for the playoffs?
I think I'm just going to go with Reed and just the fact that they just have, he just gets the volume and the targets, and there's not a lot going on in Washington right now.
Jordan Howard or Lindsey rest of the season? Lindsey.
Yeah, you want that back.
How many away from 10 million downloads? I believe we're only like 70K away.
Oh, baby, let's get it done this year.
Or not 70K, 700,000 away.
Let's get it done
I was
this
going
year.
to say $70K. We can just knock that out this week.
Yeah, 100%.
700,000.
You're gonna have this done by week 17 when you get those week 17 rankings. Everyone's gonna want to tune in.
Yeah.
Championship on the line.
People are going to be so triggered by that show. It's going to be awesome. I have such a good plan for it.
Spencer Ware,
Yeah.
RB1.
Oh, it's not even going to be that in depth. Pat, great call on the Broncos-Chargers game on the pick show. I saw it trigger Jeff a little bit. It certainly did. He did not want to hear how the Chargers are going to Chargers it up.
Oh man.
Sell high on Hilton to get Ertz? You could. That's fair.
Yeah, sure. We're probably rolling out nothing at tight end.
Trade away Cohen and Richard for Jones and Barber. Oh, A. Jones. I thought it was just Jones. I was going to say Julio Jones, but yes, I would do that.
I would do that too.
Pat, you should make a T-shirt. It says "Band for Life."
It's a popular statement.
Pat, should you make a T-shirt with Andercuss face on it with the word "Band for Life"?
Yeah, now we're talking.
But then I get into copyright infringement for Andercuss. I got to pay him.
Oh,
Can't be paying him.
Yeah.
Ah, see, this guy was banned. No, he's no
No.
longer. He was just
No,
put
he's
on timeout. He says, "Love the show." See, now he's back in my good books. That's all you need to do to say something nice.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for compliments. Who isn't?
Of course.
Should I drop Peyton Barber? Why would you do that? John Brown for Spencer Ware. Drop John Brown for Spencer Ware. You're not playing Spencer Ware? Yes.
Yeah.
Is Winston worth picking up if I have Russell Wilson? Why would you want two quarterbacks?
No need.
Drop Dak and pick up Jameis? Yes,
Yep.
I would.
Much
Ban
better.
him! My best Monty Python voice. That's very good. This guy says, is sarcasm the language of white people? Maybe. I mean, that could be a very accurate point from A. Nash. It's my vocabulary. I think anyone that was just raised on The Simpsons is the most...
Yeah.
There's a generational gap of people that were raised on The Simpsons. Direct correlation with sarcasm.
Yes.
Or Seinfeld, too.
Absolutely.
Carry on versus Philip Lindsay rest of the season. I'd still take Carry on.
Yeah, take care on too.
I want to see what this
You
MRI
definitely-
says first, but
Yeah. Obviously.
even if he just misses this week, I'd still want Carry on. Oh, thanks from Montego Bay, Jamaica. Nice.
Wow, man, all over.
Everyone
This
around
is
the world.
Wicked.
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 Wicked's a very contained to where we're from part of the
Yeah.
world.
It's
The
kind of
East-
Bostonish.
I guess so, yeah. I guess,
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Wicked
from,
awesome.
We're from Canadian Boston, so
Yeah.
that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, we hook them up with a Christmas tree every year, don't we?
We do, thanking them for their
Yeah.
efforts during the Halifax explosion.
That's right.
During World War I. Very nice of Boston.
Yes.
Don't like Boston, but it's very nice of them.
Yeah.
Cordial people. Lamar Miller, Aaron Jones, Philip Lindsay, Tariq Cohen. Rank them.
Jones.
Miller's last.
Lindsay
Jones-
was in there, right?
Jones, Cohen, Lindsay. Oh, standard format? Jones, Lindsay, Cohen, Miller.
Yeah.
You
Jones
need
is an RB1 the rest of the way.
You need to add birthday narratives to the show. Found out it was Christian Kirk's birthday yesterday, so I played him, and he produced.
No way.
It's got to be why. DJ Moore, Deshaun Jackson, rest of the season. I'll go DJ
Oh, wow.
Moore.
Yeah, I will too. I'll go DJ Moore as well.
This person in my league dropped Josh Gordon and Sony Michel because of buys.
Oh my goodness. Well, try to get him.
Would you rather have someone in your pickup ranking show over them? No. No, I would not. I'd rather have both those guys.
Yeah.
Pat, you seem in a great mood this week. Lol. I actually am in a great mood.
Yeah.
I got my voice back. I got some energy
Feeling
back.
better.
Yeah.
Called the Broncos yesterday.
Yeah. That was like the one thing I got.
Yeah.
Everything else.
It was a
Big
tough
disaster.
week. You know, there's a lot of tight games.
It was. It was a week to go contrarian across the board.
Yeah.
Kamara for Juju and Fitzgerald? No.
Yeah, no, I'm just keep Kamara.
Best handcuff to pick up? I think
You know,
it's
it
Ware.
depends if you don't
No.
have any wide receivers,
No.
though.
No.
Like, what if he doesn't? What if Brown and Funches are his wideouts, and you get
Okay,
Juju
sure.
and yeah, it
In
all
a vacuum,
depends.
I know.
Yes, yeah.
Would you want Galladay or Allen Robinson the rest of the season? I want Galladay.
I want Galladay too. Get
Best
all those
handcuff is Ware?
targets. Yes, absolutely.
Drop Mayfield for Winston? Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy says, I need an RB and wide receiver. Thoughts?
Good luck on the waiver wire.
Banned for life.
Thoughts? You're fucked. That's the thought I have.
Which fantasy players on a fantasy question show I can't mention to get or get? Which fantasy players on a fantasy question show I can't mention or get banned? Well, we know it's everyone in worst place.
Yeah, I think we know the answer to that. He should too.
Let's see. Let's do a few more here. Calvin Ridley or Christian Kirk rest of the season? I think I'd still want Ridley. I don't like Ridley, but he's like a Deshaun Jackson, DJ Moore,
Yeah.
boomer bust type guy.
Yeah, same. It's you know, Sanu's still getting work over him, but offense is more legit.
Thank you from Baghdad. Shout out Iraq.
Wow.
There we
We
go.
are hitting it up everywhere today.
ESPN Classic League. Sean Alexander or Edge?
Oh, wow. Sean Alexander.
Yeah, Sean Alexander. Peak Sean Alexander was better than peak Edge fantasy-wise.
Yes.
I would want the career, the longevity of Edgar and James.
I was looking at the top 10 fantasy performances of all time, and Alexander's on there. I think he's
That
like
6
fifth.
touchdown Sunday night game against Minnesota,
Yeah.
2006, I want to say.
Yeah.
5 touchdowns before the half.
Yeah, that was on there.
Drop John Brown for Traquan. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to look at the better offense. Team's going to throw the ball more.
3 more. Is Coleman a trustworthy flex? Probably. Oh, this guy has Mark Ingram or Kerryon Johnson rest of the season, just in time to be banned for life. Coleman or AP rest of the season.
Oh, man.
Not exotic, but thank you from Arkansas. Shout out Arkansas.
Very nice.
Arkansas.
I think I'll lean Coleman because the offense seems a little bit better. But now with McCoy, like,
Yeah, I don't know how
I
it's going to
wonder
work.
if AP's.
You might just run it 30 times.
That's the
but
thing. That's what I feel like. AP is just going to touch the ball 30 times, and there is some something to be said about that. But I think I take the upside in Tevin Coleman.
Guy says, sometimes I just want to be banned for life just to see how it feels. But I don't. Don't ban me.
Just tempted. Yeah.
Mayfield, Winston, or Jackson rest of the season? Probably Winston.
Yeah,
Or
but-
sorry. Mayfield, Watson, or Jackson.
Oh yeah,
Watson is the answer.
Well, and yeah, Watson. Look at that schedule in case you didn't tune in earlier. Week 14 Colts, Week 15 Jets, Week 15 Eagles.
Hello from Mexico City. We got the international community coming in this week.
My goodness.
Apparently, PME big in Latin America.
Yeah. Read someone in
Jamaica.
Europe.
I think someone said Mexico City.
Mexico
We got
City.
Jamaica.
Baghdad.
Baghdad is not in Latin America.
No, I know that. Okay. Just like all around.
Just in general.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just in general. We've touched all over.
Drop DJ Brown for drop John Brown for DJ Moore. Yes.
yeah.
I have Russell Wilson and Brady. Should I drop Brady for Traquan or DJ Moore or Kirk? Drop him for DJ Moore.
Yeah. You don't need to have 2 quarterbacks.
You don't need 2 quarterbacks.
And in Brady and Russell, too. Like, what do you do? Spend 2 of your first
Yeah.
4 picks on a quarterback?
Trade Doyle for Lamar Miller. I have Burton. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, you don't need 2
Get some running
guys.
back depth.
Yeah.
You don't need the 2 receivers. Rank them rest of the season. Tyler Boyd, John Brown, Amari Cooper, Emmanuel Sanders, Antonio Brown. Oh, Antonio Brown.
Wait, he's last.
Yeah. Brown, Boyd,
Cooper.
Sanders, Cooper.
I go Cooper for Sanders.
Okay, but Brown and Boyd.
Yes.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
I'll take 2 more. I live in Ixtapa. And every company that exists in the USA, also a division in Mexico, is garbage. Oh, so I'm dead. Keep it to you.
He's triggered.
Yeah, let's not Mexico get you too triggered just by bringing up the word Mexico. Fuck off, Ned.
Are you banning him?
What's that? No, I won't ban him. Maybe if he says something else like real crazy.
Yeah. We might have to for our own good and everybody else in the chat.
Oh, this guy picked up Wilson off waivers last week. Playing that league.
And those leagues. Like, I saw Doug Baldwin on waivers in one of my leagues, pretty competitive, and that shocked the hell out of me.
Traded for OJ Howard to fill in for the week, and now that should I shop Howard now that Kittle is off his bye? Well, Howard's hurt, so shop him.
Yeah, you can try to. But you don't need him. You got Kittle.
All right, last one. Pat, who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Oh, man.
This breaks down between childhood me and early teens me. Between my 2 favorite, of course, my 2 favorite guys are Canadians. They gotta be.
Yeah.
I mean, like Rock is always up there because The Rock is great.
Yeah.
As a kid, I loved Bret Hart,
Yeah.
but Chris Jericho really took that mantle for me. Chris Jericho, I love Roddy Piper too. As you can see behind me, I have Red.
Yeah, so I'm not a big wrestling guy. I can't even name. I could name maybe one of those guys. Yeah, so it's The Rock for me. Like, Rock was
Rock
always
for you?
entertaining. Like, that's when I started to watch a little bit. I was entertained with The Rock. It's pretty good.
Rock's the best. Rock and
Yeah.
Stone Cold was a
Stone
great time to
Cold.
be alive.
It was one of the best times. to be
We had
alive.
Rock and Stone Cold. We had the NWO on the WCW side. It was a
Yeah.
great time for wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know really what's going on now. Fine, ask Feinberg about wrestling.
He's still
Feinberg's
all over
all
it.
in on wrestling.
Yeah, like Sunday night, Monday night. It still goes on, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
Why not? I'm sure Monday Night Raw is still a thing.
Yeah,
I don't know what
has
day
to be.
SmackDown's on. When I watched it, it was Thursdays, but I don't think it is anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it is either.
I think I really stopped watching wrestling when like Sunday Night Heat was still a thing.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And The Rock's awesome. He's the best. How can you go wrong with The
Yeah,
Rock?
he's not even really wrestling. But I do love Chris Jericho. I think he's in Toronto right now. I should go like find him, hang out with Chris Jericho.
That'd be fun.
I think Robin Black knows him. I'll talk to Robin, see if he knows Chris Jericho, see if I can hang out with Chris Jericho.
Nice.
I think he has a show on CBC.
Really?
Like a serious show, like a sitcom.
You got to see if he's into fantasy. You get him in here.
I mean, he's in a rock band. Why wouldn't he be? His dad played in the NHL.
Wheels are turning. You got to get.
There we go. I got a lot to talk to Chris Jericho about. All right, that'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. I think we got to like 200 questions.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
We hit 'em all.
Most of them were not bad. People getting much better at the chat.
Yeah,
They're
they're
less spamming going
understanding
on.
that it's it's supposed to be fun. A couple compliments here and
Yeah,
there.
a couple compliments always goes a long way.
Yeah. Have some fun.
But just ask the questions, like this guy or this guy, or
Yeah, give
I
some
want to trade this
context.
guy for this guy. It really helps speed things up.
Of course.
Chris Meaney, where can everyone follow you and check out your work?
At Chris Meaney, and fan tracks for the football and the athletic for hockey and for basketball. We just launched a couple articles. I know everyone's struggling in net. It's all the questions I get for fantasy hockey. My goalie sucks. Everyone's in the exact same situation. So there's a couple
The one guy
couple
that plays
options out
fantasy
there.
hockey?
Yeah, the one guy. Actually,
It's you.
he
You
seemed
ask yourself
pretty
questions.
good.
Neil Parker asked you questions.
Neil asked me questions. Clippy asked me questions, and we circle back and answer them all together as a group. So yeah, the athletic for all the info.
Cool. Check out Chris Meaney on Twitter, at Chris Meaney. You can follow me at the PME, Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Chris and I will be live Thursday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Thanksgiving morning, to get you prepped for the games. We'll go over all the adjusted spreads, all the injuries, and the Showdown slate. Davis Maddock will be on tomorrow to break down the actual DraftKings slate for the full slate for Thanksgiving, and then we'll have our regularly scheduled content. Jake will be on, Garen will be on, Cuss, Jeff. We'll have a DraftKings breakdown show, I think. I got Rick Gaiman for this week for the Sunday slate, so that'll all be fun, and I'll be back, like I said, live on Thursday, live on Sunday, live next Monday. We're always live, so much live. We're using up all our minutes here, I think. We're using up all our internets. You're ruining everyone's data. But download the podcast, so help us get 10 million. And give the episode a like. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.